Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
All right, Joseph. Where are you right now?
I am back in Texas.
Where were you?
I was in Florida for a week, and down there on the Gulf Coast of Florida. And
did you wrestle any gators?
No, I didn't wrestle any gators. No, but when I was there, it's funny because like I always tell these stories about Florida to people, and they always sound made up, but I swear they're not. While I was down in Florida,
wait, Florida's a real place?
It will.
I thought it was something told to warn us, like a warning so you don't end up like homeless or something.
There was a big story in the local news about how they finally figured out whose arm that belonged to, like from a gator attack in a retention pond off the side of US 41. There were like a random little story about like, oh yeah, we finally figured out the woman whose arm that was. The gator ate her, but the arm
like we found out where Jimmy Hoffa was buried or something.
But there's always shit like that. Like every fucking week there's a story about like a gator eating someone, or there's like you can't open the local paper without like at least running into 6 stories about like children maimed in ATV rollovers.
So is Florida like probably the closest thing the United States has to like Australia?
Yeah, yes, probably.
Like Australia is like a weird. It's almost like its own planet.
Yeah,
like creatures on there that like that say things like that's normal life.
Right. Well, it's a good example
they have,
because
like, spiders that are like come from like the dinosaur era, like they just have like things that should not exist in our world because it's a closed ecosystem, and it's like it got to like evolve and turn into like isn't there like right? Isn't that like what Australia is like
pretty much
creatures that are not on the other? That's why when Bart went there in the Simpsons, toads, it was like
he got a booting. He got a
well, that I always found that funny because I was making fun of like the kid who got like pulling or whatever.
He got caned in Singapore or something.
Yeah. And that's kind of what that was. Bart gets a boot. It was a boot. But I'd say that was like that was probably like some of the best education I ever got. I learned about like ecosystems. I learned probably more about, or maybe I just pay attention to The Simpsons more than I did to my science teacher.
Your science teacher's like weeping,
like, sorry, I'm not a weird yellow character that says Cowbunga, dude. I try.
Well,
teacher.
Yeah, I would say that the Australia reference is a good one because, like, Australia has Outback, which is kind of an Australian themed restaurant. Florida has Hooters, and it's like
Hooters everywhere, dude. It's not just in Outback. They have a whole ton of Hooters around the country.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there was a gator attack story. There's a couple ATV rollover stories.
But don't they have like their own? Didn't you say like there's things in Florida that don't exist in the rest of the country? Like, like it has its own weird ecosystem because it's like kind of just like it's like imagine a country and then there's this like weird like if you had like a limb that you didn't really know you had and it just dangles up the side of your body and it doesn't really do anything and it's just festering with like
it's like a Florida is like a vestigial limb of the United States.
Like you absorbed a twin and have like this unusable leg and you're like I didn't mean to get this removed. My surgeon, we're just trying to pick the date.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. I do, and also like
digital limb of absorption.
I would sit outside briefly. My brother's got like a really cool backyard, and it's really beautiful. But then, like 3 or 4 minutes into it, you realize that like there's literally like insects sucking your blood like all over your body. It's just like
did you fall in a sinkhole? Isn't like
No,
isn't Florida like
yeah,
80% sinkhole now?
it's a lot of sinkholes, and it's like a lot of it is like not even that deep. Like if you dig a hole, even with just like a shovel, like a normal
You'll
shovel,
sink the whole state.
you'll hit water. Like you'll like be afraid that you're gonna like plummet your home into the
Do they have a
bottom.
sewer system in Florida?
Yeah, they do. I mean, like it's weird.
Is it
Like
above ground?
I'll tell you, it's where I lived. I think it was only like a couple feet above sea level. It was really really low. Um, and where I lived, on one side of the interstate, the side near the Gulf of Mexico, um, you couldn't really dig deep. On the other side, it was more stable and everything, but it's crazy. We also went out to Sanibel Island, and Sanibel Island is just like a pile of sand that people built homes on.
Where is that?
Sanibel Island's off the coast of Fort Myers. It's a barrier island, and it's literally just like a really stable sandbar. And it's like there's a Dairy Queen on it and stuff. It's like
Wow.
fucking weird. It's so weird. But yeah, Florida was nice.
Yeah, because we weren't. So we did. Just in case you guys were wondering, you're like, wait, where's my weekly dose
Right. Yeah.
of the YSGOAT?
Dose of the goat.
And just selfishly went to
Yes.
Australia or whatever the fuck he went, Florida, Australia. He went to Planet DeSantis.
Yeah.
And when I got COVID, we just delayed this by
That's
one
true.
day
Just by
because
day.
I'm a workhorse. I care. Joseph selfishly went to Florida. Now, fine, to be fair, when I moved,
True. Also true. Yeah.
I did plead with Joseph. We could take 1 week, and Joseph said, fine, but you better make sure you have internet set up and everything ready to go.
I had even mapped out the route from Texas to Colorado and suggested helpfully a few rest stops where you could pull over and record the episode. But you said,
what are you doing in that bathroom stall?
I said,
podcasting.
There's on exit 48, there's both a Waffle House and a Buc-ee's, and both of them have Wi-Fi. So
you know what? Let me tell you, the one thing I do not miss at all, Buc-ee's. I used to love Buc-ee's. Like when we would go like to Austin or Galveston, I always made them stop it. My wife and son could care less about it. I always we're going there. I don't care. And then they opened up a Buc-ee's pretty close to us.
Yeah, up in Denton.
And it lost all
the mystique.
All of it. It was all gone. It was like, this is right here. I'm only like 15 minutes away. I can go there literally anytime I want. And I'm just like, fuck this. Like Buc-ee's is fine when you're traveling because you're like, okay, I need to get gas. Price is pretty good. I mean, I gotta travel home. But when you live here, to get into a Buc-ee's, first of all, I don't understand why it's so fucking crowded all the time.
It's
like
always
all the
crowded.
cars in the world are in Buc-ee's. There should be no traffic because they're all in Buc-ee's trying to get gas.
Yeah.
And I never understood it. And it was like, okay, I just want to pull in and get gas. And like Quick Trip was always good for that, or any of those type of places. And just get what the fuck they call it? There's another one, Racetrack, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I pull in. If I want to get something, I'll run in. The whole experience is gonna be like 4 minutes. It's gonna be great. Buc-ee's is like an hour.
We've gone to Buc-ee's a few times. I like it plenty. In Florida, they just started putting in Wawas, which is kind of like a big deal. It's like a smaller.
Wawa was in Pennsylvania.
Yes, it was
we didn't really have them in New York, but
Buc-ee's,
I have them in Jersey too.
Yeah, they had them up north. Where I lived in New Jersey, it was like real close to Philly, so we would basically be a Philadelphia suburb, had we not been in New Jersey.
Yeah, like I said though, it just lost its mystique and like.
Well, I still I get some stuff there. Like I got my wife a Buc-ee's bikini. With a little bit, and I got a really yes, I got a shirt with a little beaver on it.
I actually have a couple of Buc-ee's shirts. That's what I mean. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the mascot, but like I said, the minute it came by and it was accessible, I mean, I think I went there like 2 times, and I was like, this sucks.
I have the one where the little beaver is making a fist, and under it says "Get on D's nuts."
Okay, again, you're lying. Let's not. Their shirts are tasteful. They're on trend. They have the characters lovable. They have lots of different.
He does look eager. Yeah,
he's eager. Yeah, he's eager to please. He's like, I'm just a beaver that is eager. I'm an eager beaver. I don't know if that's their top selling design.
yeah. I can tell you worked in merchandising because that is.
He's like, you know what? I like to dig the muff. I thought it was weird that that's at a Buc-ee's.
It was.
Like, right? What? Why is this in Buc-ee's?
Part of their new D's Nuts collection. Which
they have they sell naughty birthday cards.
Yeah.
They have like that lady from those John Waters movies, you know? Do you remember when you were a kid, you go to like Spencer's back in the day? I used to go back there. My parents would leave me unattended in the mall.
Yeah.
And I'd go to the Spencer's and just look at old, like dig-shaped pasta.
Yep.
And they still have that shit in Spencer's. Every time we go he's like, he fucks with me. He's like, looks in the back, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. No. It's like behind a shower curtain or something.
Not even. No, it's there. It's like literally just past the register, and you're just like it's like in the front they're trying to be like Hot Topic or whatever.
Right.
Like but in the back. And then the back, it's like, no, this is like early mid 80s Spencer's. There's product there. They're still selling those same naughty birthday cards and like the poster that tells you the different kinds of breasts that are out there.
Yeah, a combination bong butt plug. I mean, there's all sorts of.
I'm amazed that they have that stuff at Buc-ee's too.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I thought that was weird. You know, right next to the jerky station is the jerking station.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
all right, I'm kidding. I don't want to get sued by
a cartoon beaver.
No, by the guy who's like on Greg Abbott's council bullshit energy council. I guess he's doing a really good job, right?
Yeah.
He's you know what he's doing? He's trying to make sure that the price of slushies don't go up.
Well, speaking of, like, I have been we've been trying to be real energy efficient here, and my wife actually came up with, it's not like this revolutionary idea, but she said, like, look, the sun hits our house from the west in the morning, so we rotate our blinds and everything, and we've like done pretty well with it. I read today that Spain, the country of Spain, is mandating that they're gonna, all the new air conditioners are gonna manufacture them so that they go no lower than 26 degrees Celsius. And
what is that?
I Googled it. It's like 80 degrees to 80 degrees.
No.
Yeah. So like you couldn't even get your AC to go lower than 80.
Like stop mold from growing in your house.
No, man. But like
80 degrees. Why even have AC? I mean, I guess like, you know, it's better than 95.
Oh yeah. Sure. I mean, and
my upstairs, because the AC didn't work and we had to get it fixed. The upstairs, it got to like 90 degrees summer last year. Like a couple of years ago, the AC stopped working upstairs, and yeah, that sucked.
Well, we keep our AC much higher than we used to, and it can still work. You know, I mean, like you can kind of get in the swing of things, and it's noticeably cooler inside than outside. But fuck, man, Spain, 26 degrees Celsius. That's bananas.
You mean 80 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 80. 26 Celsius, like 80
non-Spain, European.
Good gravy.
Does Canada use Celsius, or is that mostly a European thing?
I think they do, because when you buy gasoline there, it's in liters.
Oh, I know they have the metric system and all that shit, right?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I want a liter of cola.
Well, yeah. I remember when I was driving through Canada once, and I bought gasoline, and I bought 48 liters of gas.
Like, I didn't know my car held that much gas.
Fuck yeah! I was like, that's a lot of gas. That's like buying gasoline in like
gallons,
cups or ounces. Like, all
right, so. What are we talking about?
Well, okay, we got a lot to talk about, and We're going to talk about Dane Cook
Yeah,
briefly. Talk about the Batgirl movie briefly,
for a
and then
very short time.
yeah,
We're gonna talk about Dane Cook for a very short time. Just as long, like short, like how old his wife. We'll get to that.
yeah, Wolf. Batgirl, for all mankind. Talk about the
I'm very
Alex.
excited about that Batgirl movie coming out. You better not
Yeah,
disappoint me later. Okay.
the Alex Jones trial.
That one's a good one.
Uh, we're talking about a little thing about a product called Black Ant Powder.
Delicious.
The January 6th hearings and Trump's LIV tour. John Stewart, Joe Manchin. We're talking about the primary results from the last couple days and the big one, which was the abortion referendum in Kansas. We're talking about a young woman who was cranking out money for abortion rights.
Thanks to Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
No thanks. No thanks to Matt Gaetz, actually.
Olivia Juliana. And then we're talking about the Yang Gang. It's back. And
it's not really Yang Gang. It's just some bullshit party that Yang started with a bunch of
right-wing money,
like MSNBC conservatives, like regulars, like David Jolly or whatever his name is, and like
it is
former governor of New Jersey. That woman who I forgot her name.
Christine Todd Whitman, I think.
Yeah. It's literally, and the joke too is like they're like, okay, and Democrats. I'm like, where? And he's like, me. And I'm like, you left the Democratic Party like last year, dude, when you had that failed run for mayor. Like,
yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that. Okay, so yeah, real quick,
Dane Cook.
I feel like we don't need to talk about this for a long time. Long time. Just like how his wife has not lived on this planet for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to see if I found this on my Twitter today, and I thought it was like the fucking funniest thing. Dane Cook put out this thing where he, said he was getting married, and there was a story saying like they've been together for 5 years. And let me find this because I thought this was really fucking funny. And there's so many good ones.
That is odd in and of itself. Hearing this is really funny, and Dane Cook,
right? I have never found Dane Cook's not funny. I don't think anyone. I mean, does anybody? Can anyone tell me a Dane Cook joke that's funny?
Or a Dane Cook joke, like a joke, like this is what we recognize as being a joke.
I remember I remember seeing him in some like straight to DVD movie with like what's that guy's name?
Oh yeah, he was
that basketball player who got Dennis Rodman. Some shitty straight to DVD movie. It was like straight HBO, and he just played like in a really annoying comic relief. And I was like, okay, this guy's supposed to be funny, I guess. It's just some shitty action movie starring Dennis Rodman in his and I didn't see him for years. And then all of a sudden he was fucking huge and he was everywhere. And they said that he got famous from using MySpace, which just sounds like there's a couple like like MySpace being the
Tequila.
Yeah, the pre-Facebook MySpace, everyone had a MySpace, and then one day everyone decided no one has MySpace. It was crazy. It was the biggest thing, and then like 2008 happened, and then boom, MySpace was dead, and everyone started using Facebook.
That makes a lot of sense because my little brother, who is real smart and has a great sense of humor and everything, inexplicably when he was in college, he loved Dane Cook. He thought he showed me like a Dane Cook comedy. He showed me a Dane Cook comedy special or whatever, and I literally sat like stone faced through the whole thing. I mean, just like stunned, A, that it was like being packaged as a comedy special, and B, just like intellectually trying to figure out like what was supposed to be funny. Like I couldn't even get my hands around it. It's like I've never really had like a ton of like food from Malaysia. But if I went to a Malaysian restaurant, I would recognize it as food. This would be like going to a restaurant and they serve you like gravel and lint. It's like I don't recognize this as what you say it is. Like,
yeah, it was not funny. I'm sorry. Like, Okay, this guy named Kai Comedy.
Yeah.
And he had a couple of bangers today that were making fun of Dane Cook. And it's like he's not that big. Like he has a couple of jokes, but then he has like all his Dane Cook stuff's got like, let me see if I can find them. They're like earlier. I don't even know where they are, but like
He had some
everybody
great
come.
ones.
There was well, someone said I could do math. Let's do math. Dane Cook is 50 years old. And he just announced his engagement to his longtime girlfriend of 5 years. And then how old's Dane Cook's fiance? Let's do math.
Yeah.
How old's Dane Cook's fiance? Joseph, do you know?
Well, she is currently 22.
20. It said 23.
Oh yeah, 23 because they've been together for 5 years.
Right. Which,
right.
If you do the math, that means technically maybe 18.
Yeah.
And it just like, it just opened up all kinds of weird, funny shit. People were like, I sent that to you, and what did you say? You made a funny joke about Dane Cook. You said like that's the funniest thing that he ever did, but like not for all the wrong reasons or something.
So it's like I forget, it was like that's the funniest thing Dane Cook's ever done, but not funny in a comedy way, like or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
The best one I heard was where someone said Dane Cook married his high school sweetheart. Like,
yeah. I said that Dane Cook's fiance's real name is Shoshana.
Yeah, I saw that.
Someone wrote on my thing, you have to be over 40.
I thought so too. I was gonna post like a Seinfeld reference, and I was like, no one will get this. No one will get
like
it'll be like three people over 40.
Yourself in one tweet.
Well,
Shoshana. Like, so someone made a joke and said, "Listen, I get you. Like, if you're 50, you want to have sex with like a 23-year-old, but like the fact that you want to marry one, that's insane." Like, what the fuck do you have in common with a 23-year-old at 50? But it's like when you saw those stories, like Tony Randall, remember him from The Odd Couple?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That guy, he's the brainy gremlin, the voice of the brainy gremlin. There was a story where he was like 90 or whatever, 80,
right.
Died a couple years later, and he just had kids with his wife who was like 30. You know, you're just like, oh, okay, come on, what's going on here? Like, dude, you're fucking 80 years old. What are you talking to this girl about? I mean, probably nothing. You're probably just like,
it's crazy.
Boner pill and like, but I mean, like, what are you talking about?
I remember I used to teach college, and the students in college would be like, traditionally like 18, 19, 20 or whatever, old enough so that they're adults and everything. And someone said something like, do you ever find like a student attractive? And I was just, it's so weird because like, it's so like no, it's just so different. Like, you certainly don't find them like attractive or unattractive. They're just like on a different level. It's like these are people that are clearly at different points in their life. They're clearly interested in different things.
Yeah, at some point, it's like, what do you?
Yeah, it's like you would have.
Like, there's always, it is unquestionable at some point. It is impossible to be like, okay, they're after you because you're either, well, one, you're after them because they're young, and they're after you because you either have wealth, power, influence, or something. Because there's nothing like, I mean, listen, everything can't be Harold and Maude.
Sure, right.
Which is a classic movie.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Very young, weird-looking man having
with a much older woman,
with that lady who, you remember her? What was her name? Such a great movie.
That was a good movie.
Soundtrack by oh shit! Now I gotta tweet that.
Who did the soundtrack to that? That wasn't Cat Stevens, was it?
Yeah, it's that great cat. It's like an amazing. Dane Cook is doing a gender swap remake of Harold and Maude.
Nice.
Oh, I have to like actually spell this right.
Well,
I type it real fast, and it's like Donger Dinger.
I do that.
Like, I didn't actually. Dane Cook, I just announced. Gotta change it.
It's strange. I mean, Dane, anytime like a premise begins with Dane Cook, it's going to be a little funny anyway, because he's just such a weird. Well, I think what
like, when was the last time anyone gave a shit about him?
Well, he's like a MySpace celebrity. That's a really good way to
That's like, I mean, that's like 2008, 2006.
Yeah.
2007. He just like, it's like locked in that time. Like Teal. What's what was the last notable thing Tila Tequila did? Do you know what it was?
Yeah, the Nazi stuff.
Yeah, she like attended yeah, she was like literally with like Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
And all those Nazis. Like, wow.
Right. And I think the original deal was that she was like bisexual or something back in the day. And then
she was in one of those like awful VH1 shows.
Yes. A Shot at Love.
Like, what?
It was called, I think it was called A Shot at Love, with the shot being like a shot of tequila.
Right.
Like,
and it was around the same time as like fucking Bret Michaels one.
Rock of Love was a great one.
Yeah, and the what the fuck, the
Flavor of Love.
Yeah. It was the same, but her little twist was like she would get on with the guys and the girls. Yeah. And it was like whatever, you know. And she turned out to be like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Now Dane Cook didn't listen. I'm not. It's just funny.
It's weird. Like, look, he started hanging out with her when he was in his 40s and she was 18. That's fucked up.
I don't even believe it was 18.
Yeah, I don't either. But like, let's just say it is. That's still fucked up.
Sure, whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. It's just funny. Hold on. Let me just tweet this real quick. And then let's announce Dane Cook has been casted in a gender swap remake of Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
See if anyone gets that reference. Dane Cook has been casted in a gender swap remake of Harold and Maude. All right. Yeah. Let me see if I can find this is like, this guy said some of these funny ass things. I just gotta find them. Like Cherry Sign. Oh, here we go. Did you know Dane Cook plays guitar? His favorite scale is A minor.
That's great.
That's a good one. This is from that guy Kai. And then here's another. Let me see if I can find these. Hold on. We'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Krista Lill and Dane Cook walk into a bar and their dates have to wait outside. That's a good one. All right, here we go. Everybody calm down. Dane Cook may have met his girlfriend when she was 15, but they were just friends until her 18th birthday. Who among us has not been a middle-aged man with friends who are still in middle school?
Yes.
And then he wrote, this is great. He's like, someone just informed me that 15 is high school age. You'll have to forgive me for my ignorance since I don't hang out with kids.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. That
crazy how 50-year-old dudes always seem to fall in love so deeply and so unexpectedly and somebody who can't rent a car on their own. Someone wrote something about like, that like Dane Cook is just, he'll have someone that will be young enough to take care of him when he's like needs to have his diapers changed.
Yeah.
And person wrote, yeah, I'm sure she'll stick around that long.
Right.
Listen, hey, you know what? Who are we to judge love?
Yeah, right.
You know, we can't, you know, we just, it happens, you know, there's those teachers that like get knocked up by the 14-year-old kid in the class. You ever see those stories?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And always like to play it down like it's a joke. I'm not saying this is the same thing.
No, but that is, yeah, that it's weird because that's, yeah. Well, I'll revisit that shortly because I thought that was, we're going to talk about For All Mankind in a little bit.
Oh, there's a little bit of
there is a little bit of a link there.
What do you call it? December spring romance?
Yeah, well, like well, we'll talk about that when we hit For All Mankind, but there's a scene where they kind of talk about that, about how Karen took advantage of Danny, and I thought that was kind of an interesting scene. But yeah, okay, so the next thing we were going to talk about was Batgirl, the movie Batgirl, which they just spent like $90 million on, dragged Michael Keaton out of retirement for, dragged Brendan Fraser out of retirement.
Michael Keaton was playing Batman in Flashpoint, and they announced that he was going to play Batman in this movie as well. He was coming because he's reprising his Batman role in the Flashpoint movie, which might not come out either because the star of the movie is a fucking
fugitive.
He's
currently being sought by police.
Slightly problematic star of the Flash. They're like, the villains in our movie wouldn't be this unlikable. Our goal is to make, but Michael Keaton was casted in this. They brought Brendan Fraser was going to play the Firefly or some villain. And so the whole goal was that they basically announced like a year or two ago to build up content for HBO Max. And they were going to be like, we're going to put out these like, they're decent sized budget movies, but not theatrical budget size. Fuck it. Like an 80 million. It started out 70 million. I think the movie cost $90 million.
Right.
How is that not theatrical? That's insane. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, it's a theatrical movie at the end of the day. You're just showing it on. You're throwing it on there. But come on, like you wouldn't release it in the theater also. I mean, whatever. They could call it whatever they want. Sure. It's insane that 90 million is not considered theatrical anymore. Like, I feel like it's like, what are you doing with the money? What is this? Rob Zombie's Monsters? Yeah, we gotta talk about that later. And then like I guess WB was sold to Discover. I mean HBO Max or DC. Like I don't even know how it works. Like WB owns all this shit.
Right.
Discovery, the Discovery Channel, or whatever, bought WB, which I'm like blown away. I'm like, wait. Discovery is that big?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then someone brought up complaints and they're like 4 times more profitable. I'm like, what the fuck are they selling? Like, what is Discovery? No, what's on Discovery? Like, is it all like bullshit,
no
like
idea.
Duck Dynasty and that crap? Like, what's on there now? No, I think know. It's TLC. I don't even know. But I'm like, how is this that much more profitable than like, I don't know.
Well, they probably have far fewer expenses,
Yeah, true, because they're just exploiting people. But usually that's like the content they put out.
They just drop a camera in the Everglades and roll, like
dwarves in love, like I'm not even kidding and shit like that. Tila Katila, Rock of Love.
I mean,
right? Was that on Discovery? Oh no, it doesn't even matter. But like, so the CEO of whoever decided, we're canceling the Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
And there was a Scooby-Doo animated movie too, a sequel that was going to go straight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That got canceled. I guess they were probably halfway done making that. I think they were in post-production in Batgirl. It was filmed. There was images that leaked of Michael Keaton in the costume. It was kind of cool looking, actually. I mean, who knows? The movie could have been shit. I have no idea. I'm sure it would have been definitely would have been red meat for all the chuds.
Well, some people
casted like a woman of color to play Batgirl. Her best friend is like a trans person.
Some people say that's what happened. Is that some people say that's what happened is that DC saw the nearly finished product, realized they had a good movie on their hands, and were like, no, we need
to be we need to be hijacked by bots.
Yes.
Twitter that put out propaganda about release the Snyder cut. But supposedly, like, I don't know how big HBO Max is. I don't know how successful it is, but anyone that likes it loves it. Like people said, it like in the beginning it was a little shaky, the app, but now it's really damn good. There's a lot of good content on there.
There's so much great. I'll tell you, HBO Max is really great. They have all those Studio Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
If you like those artsy kind of Japanese things.
There's tons of like classic films on there.
They have Turner Classic Movies on there. They have a lot of the Criterion Collection.
A lot of TV shows are on there.
Yep.
It's one of the better ones. I get free because I'm AT&T plan. I'm wondering. So supposedly the rumor is like, okay, when Discovery bought WB or whatever, they were gonna like absorb it and put Discovery into HBO Max and just make it bigger. And now it seems like they're actually going to kill HBO Max, and call it something else, which is like which means then I'm not going to be getting that for free anymore with my AT&T plan.
Right. Well, HBO Max is only like $5.99, but I think this
Oh,
new
it's
thing
not.
will.
It's $15. It's one of the more
HBO Max.
expensive. Yeah, it's one of the more expensive platforms. Like Netflix is expensive, but like Apple's like $5.
Oh yeah, that's probably what I'm
Paramount,
thinking
I
of.
paid like 100 for the year without commercials and everything.
Yeah,
It was
we have
full year,
Paramount.
so it wasn't bad price. Uh,
Paramount's good. I like their stuff.
Disney's a decent price, and now that they have Disney Plus is so much better now because the fucking you can, if you put in adult on, you have to go through the content,
Mm-hmm.
open the door to like all kinds of shit, like
Yeah,
all
oh
the
yeah.
classic Mickey pornos from the 30s that they don't release anymore, all that shit. It's so good. Like, I mean, you want to see
Yeah.
Duck Duck? Fuck. Just got to
Right.
go into your, just,
The
that's not true.
gadget,
Not that, what?
the gadget ratchet collection alone is worth.
Yeah, yeah. The Rescue Rangers porno is crazy. No, I mean,
Yes.
there's just like a bunch of content. It made that like Deadpool 2's on there, Deadpool 1,
Yeah.
Logan, all like basically all the Netflix Marvel shows, all the like, you told me like that fucking, what do you call it? The Sex Pistols show you said was on
Oh
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
if you turn off the parental guidance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, okay, regardless, I don't know what the fuck what's gonna happen to HBO. People are like, they said basically this fucking CEO is running an insurance scheme. So these movies will never fucking come out. They're never going to come out, these two things and whatever other projects. And
Yeah.
basically, by what they're doing is they can get all their money back with insurance, but that means they can never release these movies because they're basically like a loss. It's like a
Right.
right.
It is. Yeah. It's like
And
a.
they're saying this is like it almost looks like a scheme. Like, they were making a bullshit. He said like, oh, promoting it. They didn't want to spend the money on promoting it. Not like promoting on, dude.
You don't have to promote. Yeah.
You
All you
literally
do.
just put the trailer, like you go to HBO Max, you put it on, and all they would have to do is it would automatically play the trailer to Batgirl like a month before it came out, and all the person would have to do is hit skip.
Yeah.
If they don't want to watch it.
Well, you don't have to advertise a DC property. You just like casually mention on Twitter that you have a trailer, put in a link, and then everyone else will do it for you. You don't have to.
And if it has any like anything controversial of any kind, it'll blow up 1,000 times more.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it is disheartening. And I get the feeling they're going to gut HBO Max. I don't know.
I don't know why though. Like, fuck. I'm like, what the fuck's on Discovery? Like, okay, hold on. I want to see what their content is.
Yeah, that is a good. That's a good question.
What the fuck's their content? I don't even understand. It's like so weird.
Yeah, like, I guess there's a Discovery Plus.
What?
Oh man, all these shows look like shit. Discovery.
Yeah, like
Alone, Skinwalker Ranch, Mystery.
Skinwalker Ranch.
That sounds like something should be on adult Disney.
Guy Fieri's on there. Adult Disney.
Yeah. Hillsong. I've never heard of any
Sister
of these shows.
Wives. Oh, great. I remember that shit. I remember we watched a couple episodes of that Sister Wives crap. I'm like, how's this fucker not in jail? That's freaking polygamy. I thought that was illegal. He has like 4 slaves in his house, basically.
Naked and Afraid. I've heard of that one.
Yep. It's like, sorry, we can't
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
But supposedly, like, they're gonna bring back just HBO. I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. But the Batgirl things, someone brought up, like I said, people think like, oh, is this just to like get buzz? Like, and people write in a letter campaign, do all the work, and then they finally release the Batgirl movie, and then it's probably not that good anyway, so who cares? But then, like I said that one guy, he said that because they're reporting it as a loss, it can never can never be released. It's considered like it's trash, basically.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't understand that. Like you said, they got Michael Keaton to be Batman again. It's like
it would make 90 million. You know, I mean, it would make its money back.
It would generate a bunch of people to go watch HBO Max.
Yeah.
It was not meant to go into the theater.
Right. Yeah. No, I follow you.
So basically, that's what the CEO claims, is that they want them to make more theatrical movies, and it's like, well, you do realize that like we had this thing called COVID, right?
Yeah, I think look, theatrical movies aren't done with, but they're not like I remember I used to go to the movies all the time when I was a kid, and they'd constantly be releasing movies. There'd be new movies out every week, and it was like week after week of new releases. They weren't all great, some of them were kind of like lower budget movies, whatever, but there just isn't room for that number of movies in the theaters anymore, I don't think.
No. And here's the other problem too. See, this is what's great about doing like a Batgirl movie or like, Peacemaker as example.
Yeah.
Is that you and this is why Disney Plus is great what they did with Marvel. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna do a She-Hulk series. Instead of a She-Hulk movie, we're gonna do a She-Hulk series. That series that looks awesome. That new trail, I cannot fucking wait for that show. It looks so good. And all these people complaining about the effects. I'm like, it looks amazing. It's
looks
like
good.
way too good for a fucking streaming service show.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like the Hulk, who's like considered a theatrical special effect, looks deep on the show. But it's like it's brilliant because you get to you kind of like there's still risks because they cost a lot of money, but they go in streaming. You don't have to worry about like theatrical. You don't have to worry about any weekend. But like you get like Moon Knight and all these things, and so you get all these like you get to explore more. And WB, the problem with them, they always have this history of like if it ain't Batman or Superman, they don't want to take a risk on anything. And by doing HBO Max, they could have released more like B, C tier.
Right.
DC.
Yeah.
And it's like that's how you expand the DC universe as a movie and build up the properties.
Yeah.
And then you get a really good Justice League movie or whatever, event movie. And it's like, there's like all this stuff that was supposed to come out. There was supposed to be a Green Lantern series that was supposed to come out. People are like, is that done? There was a Blue Beetle movie that they're working on. It actually looks really good. The costume leaked online. Actually, and they're like, is that even going to come out now? Like, and it's like, nah, we need another Batman movie.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't know how to, this is why I always said, like, I don't know how they struck gold with Marvel. I don't know how, like, and the fact that it's Disney, I am so amazed that they just kind of, they're like, listen, just make shit that's going to make toys and shit so we can license out. You do what you do. You know what I mean? Like,
they
I'm
stayed
amazed
out of their way,
that, like, they allowed like the fact that there's an Eternals movie was fucking made.
Yeah,
that
like, is pretty crazy.
Let me tell you, if an Eternals movie was made by DC, and it failed, they would be like, we're done. That's it. We're not doing any more fucking DC movies ever again.
Yeah.
There'll be a Batman movie in a decade. I'm not kidding. That's what they fucking do. They take no fucking risks. But but with HBO Max, they could take risks.
Yeah.
Like they're reverting. It's like going back to the fucking 90s again. It's like I just see that like so who knows what's gonna happen with that? I think it's weird. Like I said, am I upset this movie's not coming out? I mean, I don't care either way.
I wanted to see it. I would.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I have no expectations for it, but the fact that like Michael Keaton's Batman's and it's kind of cool. The fact that so there's like some actual legacy in there, and then Brendan Fraser, his career's kind of coming back over the years. He's the villain, so like it looks like it'd probably be a fun movie. And they kind of have that like the costume she's wearing is that like it's like 2015 era background if you remember. It's like purple with like yellow. Very cool looking.
I bought those
modern retro costume. What?
Yeah, I bought those comics. She moves away from home and she's going off and living on her own.
It was a modern retro look in the costume, and it was just cool looking. And I just think that like I don't get it. It's weird. At like 90, like listen, if the movie was like 4 million, that'd be weird. But this is just like toss out a $90 million movie. That sounds insane.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're gonna make it all back on your whatever bankruptcy or insurance or whatever the fuck it is, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like
that's disappointing.
It's like the producers or something.
Yeah.
I just think it's like, and it opens the door for them to like. I just think there's gonna be some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like I know there's Black Adam's coming out with The Rock. Shazam's coming out. Shazam 2 looks pretty good. They already showed trails of that. Aquaman 2 is coming out. That's already been filmed. That's coming out. Flashpoint. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that.
I don't think anyone does.
people
Of
are
all
like,
the movies they could cancel and get their insurance on, that's probably the one. But it seems like such a linchpin for what they wanted to do in the future. You know, I mean, like that is the movie that was going to like tie the
I mean, they got
DC.
fucking Ben Affleck to come out as Batman and
Yeah,
Michael Keaton to come back as Batman, and there's supposed to be like a ton of other surprises in it. And it's just like, it's just, yeah, it's like bizarre. It's like, did you see Comic-Con at all? Marvel's announcements for
I don't think so.
Dude, they have like, okay, so they announced like, so basically Black Panther in the end of it
Oh,
that comes out is going to
yeah,
be the last Phase 4 movie. And then
I
like,
did see this.
yeah, and then like in 2025 they're releasing two Avengers movies, the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Yeah,
Sounds insane. And there was a bunch of Fantastic Fours coming out like November 2024. A couple other announcements, but the fact that like, okay, imagine that, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're not gonna release Kang Dynasty because
yeah.
it doesn't meet our current thing, and we're just gonna collect on the insurance. Like, what a shit show.
That's
That's
embarrassing.
not that is embarrassing. I'm sorry. That is such like, just release the fucking movie. Who cares? It's a fucking, listen, you know what? It's a straight to HBO Max movie. If it fucking sucks, no one's ever gonna talk about it again.
Yeah,
There'll be like a bunch of chuds online. They'll say go woke, go broke, whatever bullshit they want to say. There'll be, because there's like, oh my god, there's some
right.
representation, different people of color and
But
gender.
odds are good. I mean, it looked like it'd probably be a good one. It was made by the same people who did Miss Marvel, right?
I don't think, no,
No?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt it would be Marvel people. I mean, this is DC. You know the difference, right, Joseph?
Well, yes. Who did
Who was working on the Batgirl movie?
yeah, that is a good question. I'm looking that up right now. It was gonna be directed by, I'm gonna butcher this name, Adil El Arbi.
Arby's?
RB.
Cross
Yeah,
promotion.
it's the same people that did Miss Marvel.
Oh.
I'm sorry, they did 2 episodes of Miss Marvel.
Oh, the show Miss Marvel. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I get
I'm sorry, yeah.
Captain Marvel because of the
No, the show Miss Marvel on
Oh,
Disney
okay.
Plus.
Well, I
So
mean, that show was well done.
yeah. So I
It
mean,
probably
like,
would have been well done. But like I said, why not fucking release it? It's a
yeah,
straight. It's a my god. It's Batgirl. Like, who
right.
cares? Release the fucking movie. Who get your dipshit right wing chuds on the internet to cry about it so that more people will go watch it.
Yep.
Turn it into like whatever. And who the fuck cares? Like, oh, we want to focus more on theatrical. Like, what? You can do
Whatever.
both. Like, Disney is still releasing Marvel movies. They just released, what they released? 2 major ones already this year. And there's like a bunch of freaking shows. You can't do both?
Yeah.
Insane. And again, like I said, you release movies like that. You do a freaking Guy Gardner movie. You do a freaking Dr. Fate movie. You do a Swamp Thing movie. Shit that like, hey, you know what? We don't know if this is gonna like break the bank in the theater, but you know what? It's gonna get a lot of subscribers to
DC has a ton of stuff. Yeah. Plus, I mean, you're right, and they could reach into the Dark Horse stuff probably.
What stuff?
Didn't DC run Dark Horse?
No.
What was their
Vertigo.
like? Who did?
Vertigo.
Oh, that's right.
That's Sandman. Sandman's going to Netflix, but it's
yeah,
freaking HBO Max. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how they fucked that up?
Yeah.
But
that's right. Yeah, they did. They had Vertigo. Did they own Vertigo from the get go, or did they buy it?
It was their imprint.
Okay.
And then they eventually absorbed it and just turned it into Black Label. They called it DC
That's right.
Black Label. Yeah, Vertigo was like Preacher and all those, and then they just absorbed it.
Right.
But like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there's something fishy going on, and I don't know. I think a lot of people are like, just fuck with HBO Max. It just seems like they made a bad deal. Like, they should not have sold this in Discovery.
Right. Yeah.
It's like Elon Musk getting Twitter and actually getting it. Like, actually buying it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's weird. I think it's a weird decision. Like, even if it sucked, who cares? Put it out.
Yeah.
Like, how bad could it actually be? And if it is really bad, that could be good too.
Yeah, it would still have legs,
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
All right.
Speaking of bad and no legs.
Right.
I
Well,
don't know if that's a reference to anything in For All Mankind.
For All Mankind, it's actually coming up on the end of this season, season
Yeah,
3.
There's only like 2 more probably.
Yeah.
Right? 10 episodes this season?
I think so, yeah.
So of course you selfishly went away to Florida.
Right.
Hang out with Ron DeSantis. We didn't get to talk about episode 7 and 8. So now we get to talk about 2 episodes.
Right.
And I don't remember what I watched because so much time has passed.
Well, there really wasn't a ton that happened. I mean, the in a nutshell, they're on Mars, and the mission's just sort of falling apart, and Dev's mission in particular is falling apart. The Helios crew is kind of making a deal with Russia.
Yeah, that one sounds so weird. I don't even understand that.
Yep.
Like how that's even like legal. Because they even brought it up in like I think in the 8th episode or something. They're like, it's just gonna open the doors to like other American companies just making open deals with like Russia. It just seems like an odd like, even like during World War II, Coca-Cola had the decency to like not sell Coca-Cola to Germany. What they did was they created this thing called Fanta orange soda instead. And that's
really
true. Yeah. So when you drink Fanta orange soda, you're drinking the soda of the Nazis. Like Coca-Cola cannot sell Coke anymore to Nazi Germany. I don't know what year it started. They wanted to keep that business. So what they did was they created a new brand.
Wow.
And it was called Fanta Orange Soda. Fanta, not Fanta. Fanta.
Wow.
German when you say it like that, right? And it originated as you remember the Fanta girls? Fanta.
Yeah,
Fanta,
don't
Fanta?
you want to Fanta?
Yeah, which was like probably some sex stuff going on there.
Well,
like,
it explains their popularity in Brazil and Argentina.
Are you kidding?
No, I mean they're very popular drinks in Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah, well, Fanta was a product, so Coca-Cola could keep their business.
For the Nazis,
Nazi Germany, they just could not sell Coke.
Huh.
So they sold a brand called Fanta Orange Soda.
Right.
Now, just a little lesson that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Let's go back to a fictional reality, though, which is the For All Mankind.
Right.
I just find that weird. That like I would like even the fact that Margot would be like, "What the fuck,"
Right.
How like this is like a breach of like I don't know state securities or I don't know. It's just like you're on U.S. soil and you're kind of like doing traitor shit right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the proper term is. Not sedition, but like
you're like giving aid to the enemy or something. I don't know. You're doing something.
Yeah.
Well, a couple storylines are kind of coming to a head, and I get the feeling like I think this series is supposed to be 7 seasons long. I don't know if they'll get 7 seasons, but that's the roadmap. And this feels like we're getting ready to say goodbye to the last of the original stars.
You think so? I think they'll be around for the next season at least.
Maybe, but like in a diminished capacity, I think.
I find it really funny though. The show's kind of suffering a little bit to the. I don't know if you ever watched any of those X-Men Generation movies that came out. The first one came out.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you never saw those X-Men? The one in the 60s, the one in the 70s?
Oh, yeah. I saw the Days of Future Past, and I saw.
You didn't see the first one with like Kevin Bacon as the bad guy?
Yeah, what was that called?
In the 60s?
I did. I liked those. Those were good.
Then there was like X-Men Apocalypse, which was like the one that took place in the 80s, and then the Phoenix one was in the 90s. That one was terrible.
Right. Yeah.
But the funny thing about it was like the show with the movies would skip 10 years and it was supposed to exist in real time. And then like, okay, so like the 60s one, the 70s one, it was like, okay, we're just gonna give them different hair. They're not gonna be much older. It's the 70s, only like 8-10 years past, they don't have to like big. But then like once the 80s kicked, it's like, Magneto should have a gray streak in his hair.
Yeah.
Some sign of age. And then the 90s one, and like none of them aged. They were like, okay, we're just like they're treating it like the way the comics are, where the characters are just kind of ageless.
Right.
They're not even bothering anymore. And that's kind of what this show feels like. Because I know they made it like I felt like in the first couple episodes or 2 in the season, they made an effort for you to feel like, okay, because remember this show started out in the early mid 60s.
Yeah.
Going up and no, I'm sorry, late 60s, going to the moon, the original moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these characters, and then like the last season takes place in the mid 80s, and then this season mid 90s. And I feel like they made sort of an effort in the beginning to make what's the main guy's name?
Ed is his name.
Like they kind of showed him aged a bit.
Yeah.
But now he looks exactly the same as he did last season. He doesn't look old at all. And Karen's like, okay, they gave her some grayish hair, but like none of these characters aged at all. Like, okay, what's the president's name?
Ellen.
Her husband has like a receding hairline.
Yeah. He looks like he's aged.
A little bit. She's like, it's kind of weird. Does she look older? Not really. But then she visits like her lesbian lover.
Yeah.
And that woman doesn't look like she aged a fucking week since the 60s.
A lot of times they age these characters by giving them different clothes and a different like job. Like Ed seemed like he aged a lot last season because he was the chief, the head of the astronaut program. And he sat at his desk and he was like, he just seemed older because of what he was doing.
Beginning of this season or last season?
It was last season and the beginning of this season. I think,
this season,
right?
They made him feel like in the first couple of episodes, when he has his like little drunk racism with Danielle, he seemed really old. But by the time they're on Mars and everything, this guy's like in his 40s again.
Right.
He's supposed to, they even said at the beginning of the show, he's supposed to be like,
it's like
approaching 70.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, some people are in great shape. I saw the band Anthrax recently, and they were really good live. I couldn't believe it. Roger told me, my son told me that the singer, Joey Belladonna, is 62 years old, and I would never I'm sure if I got real close to him, I'd be like, oh, that guy's old as hell. But from where I was and his performance, you wouldn't think they were like, you would think they were in their 40s.
Yeah.
Now I saw Motley Crue recently.
Oh.
Quite the opposite. Vince Neil, horrible live.
Yeah.
And I knew that though going into it.
I've seen a million videos of Vince, butchering like Shout at the Devil.
Yeah. There's a great video edit of him where a guy edits the videos and just kind of puts in subtitles.
Yeah.
Whatever garbles coming out of Vince Neil. It's like Big Mac 103.
Right. They call him Vince Meal. They call him
Vince Meal. Yeah, my son was telling me about that. The thing is, he lost a ton of weight, but he's just terrible. It's not. He has to pack it. He can't do it anymore. But the other band, going back to the show,
right?
I'm just saying that, like, by the time 2000s hit, these people are going to be senior citizens, and I don't know how they're going to approach it. Like Danielle, like, it looks like they give her like a little bit of wrinkles on the side.
Yeah,
I believe that she is. I feel like there's like a maturity to her, and
that's the thing.
But like, I don't know. Like I said, when they showed Ellen's like love that she can only see one episode a season.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, she looks exactly the way.
Yeah.
She should look like what a lesbian from the late 60s would look like.
Right.
Now, no, I don't know.
It does.
But she should look like an old liberal arts professor.
She does. She looks like you're going to run into her like on the green at Vassar or something, like
she doesn't know. She looks like she's 30.
Yeah.
They didn't age her at all. That's what I mean. Like there's this weird, like there's all this time passing. That's why I brought up the X-Men thing, because it feels like these characters, they try to give them like, okay, they're aged, they're older, but I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's not ruining the show for me. It was just something I noticed. I'm watching it. I'm like, they pretty much freaking wrote out what's her face.
Oh, Molly, yeah.
Molly's like with one episode in the beginning of the season, she was blind. She had the dog that fired her. I figured she'd end up with like Dev's team or something. But
I thought that they'd at least check in on her. They checked in on her husband briefly.
And he just talked about how she's painting, and that was it.
I thought, or like at least mention like, oh, like you could just say she passed away. I mean, like, because it wasn't just blindness. She was going to have health issues too, I thought.
Well, she absorbed all that radiation on her.
I don't know. I like the show so much.
It's a great show. Listen, I'm not saying it. I'm
just saying that, like,
when it comes to the fact that, like, okay, we're in the early mid 90s, so it's what 20. I mean, what's the math? It's 60. The show starts in 69.
Yep.
And it's 1994.
Yeah,
So
so it's
that's
25
years.
So Ed's got to be generously.
They said he is.
Well, he got shot down over North Korea or Korea when he
They
was in the
said
Korean War.
he is approaching 70.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And like I said, they do make an effort to show him younger, and it's fine. Like I said, it's not a big deal.
Right.
With Ellen's girlfriend, I was like, she looks exactly the way she did in the first season. I was like, she doesn't even make her look older. All you gotta do is have a little gray streak. That's it. Hey, look, I'm older now. I have gray side. That's it. I was like the Obi-Wan show. I felt like, they should have just gave him gray sides, like the Fantastic Four,
right? The Reed Richards,
Reed Richards, the white. That's all you gotta do. A little bit of gray streak on the sides. Oh my
they
God.
can do other things too. They can show like Ed yelling at kids to get off his lawn and stuff.
Well, they did do that, the old racist tirade thing.
Yeah,
that definitely. Whoa, okay, racist grandpa.
Well, it's weird. We had spent a while wondering if they were going to mention AIDS, and then as it turns out, AIDS was a pretty big plot point this season. And then I don't know. I get the feeling that Ellen's going to come out in the next episode or two.
Oh, that whole storyline. Well, basically, I don't know. I guess we didn't talk last week's, because I think it was last week's, but you find out basically that the husband, who's also gay, got, a story came out that he was having an affair with a aide or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't say it outright that it's a gay relationship, but it's kind of like pretty much whispered. And then there's that they do the whole don't ask, don't tell thing.
Yep.
They kind of do a version of it on this show. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they brought up the thing about AIDS. I also find interesting because even though Reagan was president, and never told you who his vice president was. It probably was definitely not George
yeah,
Bush.
Right.
He probably had a completely different vice president in this fictional world.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Gordo's sons, both of them fail sons.
Yeah.
The one guy who's in Mars, like, basically is responsible for a whole bunch of dead people because he, like, on drugs and just
he got on
drugs. Fucked up.
He turned off his comms during a crucial moment, and then a lot of people died.
Yeah, like basically they were drilling for water on Mars,
and
they ended up causing like I don't know what the fuck they did. Like
it was like an earthquake, a little seismic activity or something.
And a whole bunch. Ed got really hurt. His daughter, his adopted daughter's like, I guess she fell in love with some guy. Spoilers. Yeah. He's dead.
Yep.
He ended up getting like massive brain injuries, and I guess he had a hemorrhage or something.
Yeah,
because he was in the blast or whatever. They all got like buried in Mars sand or something.
Yeah, a couple of them died outright. One of them had his helmet shattered. It was and he caused it all. It was kind of a cool scene when Ed.
I kind of want him to get shot off in space.
Well, when
to die,
they don't. I saw a lot of people talking about this on Reddit and stuff.
I don't read anything on it. I don't use Reddit, and I don't really see people talk about it on Twitter at all, and I don't really see people talk about it on TikTok.
Well, a lot of people were talking about how Danny was a complete villain here, but they don't like redeem him, but they kind of explain him a little bit. They in two little ways. One is when Ed and Danny think they're going to die. Danny says, basically, like, I never wanted to be an astronaut. I feel responsible for getting Shane killed. And so I wanted to live the life Shane should have lived. And I thought that's how I could honor him.
He kind of brought up like how Ed was a shitty dad to Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Ed would come home and Shane was like, I guess, morally afraid of him or something.
Right. Yeah. And then another thing they do at the very end is the other Gordon kid says to Karen, like, basically, I know you had an affair with Danny. And Karen's like, yeah, I did. And he said, like, well, why him? Like, why'd you do it to him? and then the scene shifts a
Why
little
not
bit.
me?
Well, the scene shifts a little bit, and you realize that the kid's saying basically like, you abused him. You took
Well, because
advantage of him and fucked him up.
she kind of admitted to it. She's like, yeah, just kind of like,
Yeah, it
it
didn't
wasn't an
mean
emotional
anything.
thing. It was like she was freshly divorced, and here comes this young guy. And
Well, she wasn't even divorced at the time. She was still married to
oh, that's
Ed.
right, they were still married. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I forget
Did
how
Ed
young Danny
marry?
was.
Remember when Ed tries to have it, like he gets drunk and he tries to hook up with his lady and he kind of fails at it? It's really
Yeah.
funny, actually. It's like really pathetic.
Yeah.
Um, did he marry her? Is that the same woman that he's
Oh,
married
I don't
to
know. That's a good
in the
question.
next? Because there was like a blonde lady. Not to say that.
Yeah,
I'm just like, was it the same woman?
that's a good question. I
She
don't
was supposed
know.
to be from a divorce too, right? Wasn't that the whole thing?
I forget. She was
I
only,
forgot too,
yeah,
but like, because in the first season, in the first episode of the season, when they did that dumb disaster movie on the
yeah,
space hotel, which I thought was silly, um, his wife was there, and I guess
right.
their relationship wasn't that great.
No.
But then you never really saw her. They kind of cousin Olivered or
Yeah.
not at 7 for Married with Children. They just kind of like she's just like not really there anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I thought that was great. What did you say Gordo's son looks like?
He looks like like a real life adult Chucky from Child's Play.
Chucky was an old man.
Yeah.
He does. No offense to the actor.
No, he's a good actor. I mean, I like him. And
I
you can
wonder what's
tell
going on with that storyline. I do love the whole like conspiracy in that world where like they don't believe because okay, so the conspiracy in this world is that and it's kind of funny because it's like interesting, it kind of mirrors
yeah,
conspiracies in our world, like 9/11, all that stuff. So the events in the second season
right.
when Gordo and what was the woman's name? His ex-wife,
Tracy.
Tracy, where they kind of save the day. They sacrifice themselves with the
Yes.
whole wrapping themselves in duct tape and trying to save the day. And it's it's real, but then there's a whole conspiracy about none of that's real because
Right.
it was all cover, so the Russians and the United States can like corner
Split
the
some
market
energy source on the
and some
moon.
energy
Yeah.
source, and because of that, there's no jobs in America. So it creates this whole thing, and it almost gets to the point where like Gordo, the son of these two people who
Yeah.
sacrificed themselves to save, they kind of saved the world because we were on like the brink of a nuclear
Oh,
war at
yeah.
that point, and then like there's the handshake with Danielle and the other cosmonaut, and he's like even he's like doubting it, like
Right.
he's going for that girl's bullshit. And there's a great scene when he goes to their NASA. They break it. They kind of go into NASA, and that girl uses the. She's gonna be a piece of shit, probably.
Yeah.
um, he runs into a guy who worked with the mom,
Right.
and he sees like a wall that's like dedicated to her, and it's just like I don't know if he's like realizes like holy shit, I don't know what I'm getting into with these
Right.
people,
Right.
or he's just upset. It's his parents, and they're dead, and he in the end of the episode because you said that you think that this is going to be kind of like this world's version of the Oklahoma City bombing, like they're
That's
going to do something to like the NASA building or something.
Yeah. I'm not sure I believe that anymore, but yes, that
Well,
was
they do.
exactly what I thought.
They kind of just pull a prank in the end of that episode. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if this week's episode maybe something bad will happen because we still have 2 episodes left in the season. This week's episode would probably be the episode if something were to happen with these people.
Right.
It'd be in this one.
It just didn't make any sense. Like,
They just stole the statue because there's a statue when you go there in there of basically them holding hands with them the way they looked,
right.
space, kind of recreating that, and they gave it to him as like a gift or something.
Yeah, it was like so stupid. It was like, yeah, like a high school prank. And I was expecting them to want to like, put a bomb in the astronauts meeting room or something big, but it was real low level. So I can't figure out if something big is going to happen next week or if they're just trying to
I
gain his
wonder
trust.
if there's going to be a crazy cliffhanger this season, and next season it won't jump really. It'll stay in the 90s, and then maybe like half through the season, it'll jump. Kind of like how this season started out in 92, then it jumped to 94.
That could be.
It depending on what happens, what kind of cliffhangers they do, because I mean, there's only 2 episodes left. There's like a lot happening. Like all this shit's happening on Mars. It was like a disaster. It's kind of cool because NASA kind of gets to save the day again.
Yeah.
I do find we'll get to Dev in a second. I found that to be a really good revelation. It kind of tightens up the show. Dev talks to Margot. Margot's like, you got to come in, like, like we need you here on deck. And he tells her the story about his dad, who was like an engineer, and I guess he worked for the company that. So Margot there's a disaster that happens in the first season. Season 1. In the later years, because it does jump to it jumps a couple of years within the first season, and there's like kind of like a challenger, not like a space.
They skimped on parts,
and it was based on parts being made incorrectly or something in another state, and she finds out that information from not the doctor who happened to work with the Nazis.
Right.
And he basically gives her the clues and the information saying that because this politician here is greasing the wheels here, the parts that should have been made here were now being made there. And from what we hear in that story, basically Dev's dad worked for the company that basically probably went out of business because Margot basically revealed like, hey, I mean, listen, you made the parts that fucked up.
Right.
A bunch of people. Sorry, you don't get to be a company anymore. I mean, that's how it should work. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
But it just shows you that like there's this kind of like the theory of the butterfly flapping its wings. Like if you kill it, it'll literally change the course of what's that story? That's stupid. Like,
well, it's The Distant Sound of Thunder by Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, but it's basically like a butterfly gets killed, and it just changes evolution, everything. It's just, and it makes sense. So it's like Margot doing this, which is the right thing, led to his dad losing his job, having to be like a taxi driver. And it kind of like pushes him into like not like NASA, but do continue his dad's work and like take it to the next level, which is kind of interesting how that all kind of feed into each other. It's like it's tightening the universe in this show and making everything kind of make sense, but also showing that there's a cause and effect to everything, and that like every action will lead to another action, and could be decades later, you won't even know.
Right.
So there's really good stuff in that show. I'm just curious where it's going to go. I really hope that there is some kind of that guy Danny, right? Is his name?
Yeah.
He deserves like criminal action or something. I mean, there's like that guy can even say like this the guy like should not have been on the mission. They should have been a psych eval on him.
Well, and Danny even said before they ever took off, he's not ready. He's not good at this. Danny was real clear with Ed before they ever launched. Don't take him with you. And Ed blew it off and took him.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Gordo's good. Yeah, Gordo wasn't a fuck up either. They showed him in the first season. He got like space madness and break her arm.
Yeah, Gordo was a disaster too. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to the last 2 episodes. I'm real glad they got renewed for the next season. Apple usually does right by these shows. I also heard coincidentally too that they've begun working on season 2 of Severance.
Great.
Also from Apple. So that's
I knew that got renewed while the show was airing. I mean, that's good. That's a great show.
It is a great show.
I heard that the CEO of the Discovery or whatever the fuck it is, he came in and he's going to cancel everything because he wants to focus on Skin Dogs or whatever fucking show.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Lord, that sounds like some bizarre Luke Skywalker porno.
Shuck Dynasty.
All right, well that is
my 18 housewives and my fucking slave camp. I mean, sorry, what was that show called? The 4 Wives?
My High School Sweetheart, starring Dane Cook.
I have a big get tonight, but she's got the prom.
Right.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, so we'll have more to finish up on For All Mankind probably over the next 2 weeks when the season wraps up. I kind of like to look at that in retrospect.
I have a big Netflix special, but she's got a science exam the next day.
Right.
My life is complicated.
Yeah, for sure.
My teenage wife. Speaking of which, real quick,
yeah.
do you know that Applebee's in some parts of the country have signs up that say, this is actually not okay. We're moving on to other stuff. Let me talk about this a second. Applebee's had a sign up, and someone brought this up saying, like, oh no, drag shows are terrible. But this is okay. It said minors not allowed unless attended by, okay, let's hear this first part. Parents,
good,
adult spouses, or legal guardian. Now, nice. I like how you read that quick and you're just like, well, all right. But if you just, I like how they in the Oreo sandwich between parents and legal guardian, there was kid fucker right in the center. Just they font's like a little smaller.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just try to gloss this over as quick as possible. That's weird. That's a weird thing.
So weird.
That's
so
gross. Weird. I think it was like Applebee's in Alabama or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, sure.
Ew.
Yeah.
You know whose favorite place? You know whose favorite place is Applebee's?
Who?
Oh, you're not gonna believe it.
Try me.
Dane Cook.
Dane. I figured I've had him more pegged for a Chuck E. Cheese kind of guy. But
well, he doesn't want to be too on the nose.
He's although Applebee's does, if I remember right, they do have like a kids eat free type of deal. And that's like
these are the perks.
You can just go, anything you want off the children's menu, honey. You want
go wild.
Right. Oh, I'll have a bourbon and Coke and a coloring placemat for my wife.
She'll have an apple slice. She'll have the applesauce.
Shove the apple slices.
Now, honey, you're gonna had fries earlier. You're gonna have to have some broccoli. Okay. Don't argue with me. You had your one soda for the day.
Right.
It's either gonna be water or juice.
Oof. All right, so the next big thing that we've talked about, we were going to talk about, is the Alex Jones trial, which has been amazing.
I don't even like all the stuff we talked about before is nowhere near as entertaining, or I don't even know if this is entertaining. This is like psychologically damaging.
It is.
You can't write this shit. Somebody even said like all the stuff these clowns do, you can't. Like if someone wrote this in a movie, they'd be like, "This is a farce. We can't do this. What is this? Naked Gun?"
Yeah, I mean, it is very sad because ultimately this whole trial. It's not really a criminal trial. It's
he's already been found guilty.
He was found guilty. Yeah, this is to determine how much money he should pay, and these are several parents of children that were murdered at Sandy Hook. And Alex Jones has kind of made a lot of money off their backs by turning them into villains, which has caused his deranged listeners. Not even just
that he. Okay, so me and you talked about this before the podcast, stuff like that. Yeah. Alex Jones goes back decades, kind of like a character from Austin. He's in some Richard Linklater movies. He's just like there's like an underground thing to him. It's kind of crazy.
He's like Ed Hardy.
What?
He's like Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy, like the clothing line. No, I mean, like he was like this conspiracy guy, and it was like mostly like dumb college kids, like, yeah, man, the moon's hollow.
Right.
They want you to know that, like real dumb shit like that. And then like he kind of got big off of 9/11 around like the whole loose change thing, and like there's some conspiracies in there. Some of them are absolutely insane. There's some vile ones that involve anti-Semitism. There's some stuff in there, but I always say this about good conspiracies versus bullshit conspiracies is that good conspiracies have cause and effects in it. JFK getting assassinated, which is like weird because we end up going to Vietnam, which probably
Right.
wouldn't happen if JFK was president. There's what ifs and scenarios like that. 9/11, we ended up going to Iraq with the Patriot Act. There's Bush was able to win another term.
You can see motivation.
There's a lot of motivations and everything like that. But then you get into these really crazy conspiracies and stuff involving like George Soros and like other globalists they call it. And it just gets some real anti-Semitic shit in there. But Sandy Hook happened. It happened in 2011 or 12.
2012, I think.
Basically, it was like upstate New York or something.
I thought it was in like Kent, Rhode Island or something. Sandy Hook was in where was that? Connecticut, yeah. So Newtown, Connecticut.
Basically, some kid, who knows, Adam Lanza or whatever, completely crazy, came in with the semi-automatic rifle that he got from basically his family.
Yep.
I guess the family had tons of guns.
Yeah.
And he came in and shot up a kindergarten class, basically. Killed 20 kids?
There was a lot of young children.
Very young children. Uvalde is basically Sandy Hook all over again.
Yeah.
Uvalde, which just happened in May, where even more people were killed. And it is really awful. It is really disgusting, Sandy Hook. I mean, all these shootings are disgusting, but the right wing, gun nuts and all them, they went into hyperdrive immediately. And, you would say that, okay, like Columbine was awful. It was high school kids. It's like probably one of the first real major mass shootings in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, well, we didn't do anything to really stop guns sales or anything in this country. We really didn't. If anything, gun restrictions got even looser. 2004, George W. Bush and the Republicans let the assault rifles ban sunset.
Right.
He was supposed to renew it. He said he would. He lied because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he likes to draw cats though.
Or clear brush.
He likes to draw wounded soldiers that he sent. Hey, you know what? Maybe half your face is burnt up, but you know what? I really like the textures.
Been practicing my wheelchairs. Been practicing.
Yeah. I really like the paints that I got. They really do a good job of creating the textures in your burnt side of your face. You're welcome. They immediately, it wasn't even it was literally that day, they were putting out a conspiracy saying that this didn't happen. No kids were dead. All the parents were crisis actors. It didn't, I don't know if they even started to be fair with Alex Jones. I don't think he was the first one. This shit got out. I saw there was one asshole I used to work with was saying that he was a gun nut. He had a ton of guns. All the gun nut. They're like, how do these are small little children. We're supposed to be the pro-life people or whatever. How are we going to how are we going to sell this to people that no, this isn't a bad thing and there's no reason to put any gun restrictions. I have an idea. This didn't happen. This is fake. And Alex Jones ran with it. He fucking pushed it. He sold it every day. He talked about it. There's tons of footage, tons of evidence of him, and people who watched his show, they threatened. He basically listed the names of these people, said that they can die. They're going to take your guns away. They're going to take away your way of life. These people are not real. The school supposedly was torn down because the whole thing is fake. It was staged. And I'm like, anyone that believed that was a good interview. Be like, you know what? I can't deal with you ever.
Yeah, that is a very, very awful
piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you're garbage. You're an evil person. Anyone that thinks, first of all, and I'll say this again about conspiracy. Okay, so let's just give the benefit of the doubt. If Sandy Hook was this conspiracy that Alex Jones and all the other insane people pushed, then there would have been a cause and effect. we would have no since 2012.
Right.
When in the fall, I think it was like happened in November, late fall 2012, when Sandy Hook happened, and they got rid of all assault rifles and any other kind, and you need like a special license. Then we can have maybe a little argument and say, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't believe you. I still think kids died, and I think you're evil. But like, it's still a conspiracy because there's a cause and effect. There's no cause and effect because there were no gun restrictions put in. Nothing happened. Instead, more shootings happened, and Republican governors and politicians made it easier for people.
Yeah, it was just ignored.
So this is bullshit. And he made millions of dollars, and what he did threatened the lives so these people had to experience tragedy of their kids being killed by some psycho, and they're not going to get their kids back. They were just small little babies, basically. And they have to relive that trauma every day because there's these psychopaths harassing them. And there's this fucking disgusting pig monster in Texas that's making millions of dollars off of this, selling his boner pills to these fucking cretins while he lies and spreads bullshit and scumbags like Joe Rogan enabled Alex Jones. He said that he repeated it. I tweeted that, said the funniest thing Joe Rogan ever said, and he said this multiple times, is that Alex Jones is always right.
Yeah.
He pushes that, and the right wing pushed that meme, which is totally insane. And again, I didn't know Alex Jones was such a right wing guy, but then he became this full Trump guy. And this is great video. I think it should be used as evidence because these guys can't help themselves. They always have to brag. They can't hide their wealth.
Right. Yeah.
They have no modesty. They have to brag and like whip out their dick. I watched one video recently, years ago. It was Alex Jones reviews Star Wars Last Jedi. And it is possibly the most fucking insane. But all the talking points of all the right wingers used on Last Jedi all come from that video.
Yeah.
Attacking Rose Tico and it's woke and all this shit. He goes even further. He's like, there's a communism and Finn is now a communist slave to Rose Tico, the Chinese woman. And I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. But that's not even the important part. As entertaining and stupid as that is.
Right.
He brags right before the review. He's going on bragging about the studio, how much bigger it is now, how they have screens. He's got a Rolex watch on. That's all on the backs of the small children that were murdered at Sandy Hook. Well, he could not not brag.
No, and the funny thing is today, apparently, he's been testifying for like days and days, Alex Jones. You know, he's answered a lot of questions, both in public and in private, under oath. And the plaintiff's attorneys revealed today that Alex Jones's attorney had accidentally sent him the entirety of his cell phone, all the contents of his cell phone records for like the last 2 or 3 years. And
who did he send it to? He didn't send it to Alex Jones. He sent it to.
He sent it. The plaintiff said, "We need A, B, and C out of discovery. You need to provide us with."
And he ended up sending everything.
Right, and he sent everything. And the plaintiff's attorneys even said, "Like, look, you sent us this. Did you mean to?" And the defendant's attorneys never responded. And so now it's free and clear. They've given a copy of it to the January 6th committee. Alex Jones appeared in front of the January 6th committee and pled the fifth like hundreds of times. Now they have all his stuff. They have all his emails, all his January 6th related stuff. They have everything.
There's child porn supposedly on it.
Right. And so the plaintiff's attorney had said, like, I asked you if you had any texts related to Sandy Hook, and you said you searched it and you don't. But you do. You have all these texts on Sandy Hook, and all you have to do is search in the search bar Sandy Hook, and then all these populate. So he perjured himself. It really is remarkable. I mean,
go ahead.
No, he's so fucked. I mean, he should be.
You
so
see
fucked.
The footage of them talking about the opposing lawyer or whatever.
Yeah.
Asking him about like showing threatening images of the judge
right
on fire, and he's like, no, and then they showed it.
It's right there.
He couldn't. It's like he would go to this thing and then he would go on his show and just like it's like he thinks he's Trump where he can just say whatever he
Yeah.
wants. Now listen, I get it. He's a big fucking rich asshole, but you know what? This is fucking Alex Jones. Like, all right, Matt Gaetz is a fucking well-connected Republican congressman who basically was handed everything to him as daddy.
His parents are connected, and
every day we're like, why isn't this fucker already arrested for basically trafficking children? Over state lines, sex trafficking. And the fact that he votes against sex trafficking bills, recently just voted against one. It's like, it's insane. But you're like, okay, well, why does Alex Jones need to be protected? He's a he's just a fucking piece of shit entertainer, fake journalist, bullshit, whatever you want to call it. This guy should lose every dime that he has to those family members. They should get all his wealth. And then he should go to jail. One for perjury.
Yep.
And then even the January 6th shit, and then whatever other damages he's caused.
Well, I think that I think that a lot of these far right provocateurs, I think they just want to destabilize our government. And this Alex Jones trial is a perfect opportunity for that, because if you like Alex Jones, you're going to think that, he's getting a raw deal and this will further disenfranchise you. For people like us, if Alex Jones there's no way he can get proper justice. So we're going to be disappointed. It's just kind of designed to shake people's faith in the system.
I'll say this, though. I don't know. I think that this judge.
Yeah, she looks pissed.
This is not the judge from the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
No.
This judge hates his guts.
Yeah.
He's fucked either way. He's definitely going to be paying a big bill in the end. That's for damn sure. But this guy should be fucking going to jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If he doesn't go to jail, he'll probably just die from hypertension. You said, what did you say earlier?
He looks like Patrick Starfish in a straitjacket. He has that build.
He looks like like a living example of like all signs of like bad cholesterol, fucking heart. Like this guy's gonna if he doesn't get a heart attack, he's gonna have a stroke.
Right. Yeah.
He's just a lying pig monster. He's just disgusting. I hate this man. I do. Like I said, years ago there was like an entertainment fact, but then the Sandy Hook thing happened. I was like, okay, this guy's a piece of shit. And then he got in line with Trump. And then I was like, okay, this guy is definitely this guy is a scumbag. He's not even just a piece of shit. He's a fucking villain. I mean, he was already a villain with the fucking Sandy Hook.
But he really is. I mean,
but now he's just and it's like, dude, do you think this guy, like, he doesn't stand for the common man? He's a fucking scumbag. Like, see that? Okay, so let me just pull up these things real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, he does, as you're looking for that, he does do a lot of this. I don't know if we're going to talk about this briefly in a second, but he does do a lot of this just to sell his supplements. The political stuff seems like almost an afterthought to him. He needs that fuel to kind of promote his
Well, that's what John Oliver said years ago. John Oliver did a bit on a whole episode, basically, on Alex Jones. This was a long time ago. I mean, this whole Sandy Hook thing's been going on for fucking years. It just shows you how long this shit takes. These fucking poor people, like, they're just trying to get any justice at all. And this shit, the fact that it's like 2022, 10 years fucking later, I think this lawsuit started in like 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
The fact that it took that long to go up. Here we go. This one, child porn found in documents Alex Jones sent to lawyers of Sandy Hook families, court filing says. Oops. Sources tell Rolling Stone's January 6th committee plans to subpoena Alex Jones' emails and text messages, which is what you brought up.
Yep. Good.
This is a picture of I don't know if you ever heard of this podcast called Red Scare.
Yeah.
They're like a bunch of like, I don't know what the fuck they are, dirtbag left chuds.
Right.
I just find it crazy that one of the girls was a regular on Succession last season.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Well, that's a fictional show. That doesn't make it in that world. If it was a real world, it makes sense. But on a fictional show, I don't know. I wonder, like, she was like a regular on the show, her character, and I didn't realize that was her. And then, but I noticed, like, as shit came out more and that podcast came out, that last episode, her part got completely truncated.
Yeah.
She's like barely in it. I wonder if they like edited her out or something. I wonder if she'll be in next season. I don't think so. I think they kind of wrote her out. But there was a picture of him holding the two girls, and I wrote worst episode of Succession ever. Yeah. No one should be like, no one should have him on. It's like, oh yeah, isn't Alex Jones funny? He's a meme.
No.
Like Logan Paul had him on. Logan Paul, those guys suck.
Yeah,
you know who that
suck.
is?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's just a meme. It's funny. He's got
Jake
the growly voice. He's a cartoon. It's like, no, he's a horrible person who pushes fucking old-timey conspiracies that go back to like Protocol Zion. I mean, this guy pushed Pizzagate and shit like that.
And these are real people outside of the spotlight that are just trying to get through their lives. It's not like, oh, well, when I ran to be mayor, I knew that I'd get some negative stuff in the press. I mean, these are just people who want to get on with their lives. So I don't know.
I don't know. There's just the best is that lawyer that got out, and someone showed a picture of him. Like it says, like, it's funny how the lawyer, they show the back of him, and he's got like his hand on his chin, and like it's funny how the lawyer's like in his thinker pose. And I wrote, yeah, he's probably thinking like, man, I got to get a new career,
right?
Or the other one was, hello, darkness, my old
friend.
I mean, like, come on, like, what good lawyer is going to work for Alex Jones? Honestly, like it's like the clowns that Trump gets. You know what I mean? Like these are not going to be reputable people. Like this guy is like got to be like, I made a bad mistake.
Yeah, what do I have to work with here? You know,
who knows? Maybe he fucking leaked it. He's like, you know what? This guy is a horrible pig monster, and fuck him. Like I'm screwed either way. I don't want to. I don't want to associate with these people. Maybe who knows? Or he's a fucking idiot, because that's kind of people Alex Jones gravitates towards.
Yeah, water seeks its own level. Well,
shit find shit. They always able to sniff each other out.
It's funny, you had talked about Alex Jones originally selling supplements. EC still does, but you had
that's what I said. That John Oliver did an episode where basically on the show, he said we always see just clips on his show, but if you watch a full episode of InfoWars, you realize that like more than a half hour, the entire show
is an infomercial.
Just constant ads selling you crap.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, what?
Oh, well, I was going to say that what you would come across a MLM or some sort of product over the last week where they were selling.
I don't know if this is an Alex Jones product.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it is.
It's in that hemisphere of like, oh, okay, this is the kind of stuff that like gravitates to these people. Okay, here we go. Real quick, let me see if I can find it. Hey Joseph, I have a question. You like ants? You like Ant-Man?
I do not.
Ant-Man? You didn't like the movie?
Oh, Ant-Man was great. Yeah.
But did you ever watch the movie Ant-Man and was like, hey,
he looks delicious.
Really like it's not him, but like his little buddies. If I could grind up Ant-Man's little buddies into a fine powder, put in like my coffee, I'm gonna get like, I don't know, the powers of an ant. This was from Molly Conger on Twitter. This is where I found it. She says, I got lost down a rabbit hole of sketchy herbal supplements being pushed in right-wing spaces. This is like essential oils, the kind of shit that like people who like QAnon.
Yes. Yeah.
Right-wing spaces. But I think I found the best one. Ants. That's it. Just ants. Made with real ants. Benefit of black ants. Boost energy, provides direct ATP, strengthens, builds an aphrodisiac, supports DNA and RNA to slow aging, strengthens skeleton system. Our black ant powder, 10-to-1 dual extract water and alcohol, made with ants.
God.
Wealthy
people really want poor people to eat bugs.
Whole body. What?
Wealthy people really want poor people to eat bugs. You know, like just they want poorer people to get used to eating
usually bugs. Like the joke is poor people, like scumbags, or want poor people to eat bugs, but the joke is like you force them to just eat bugs.
Oh yeah,
they have no access to other food, and they're just this is what's available. But the joke is that these people found a way to charge them money for the bugs.
Mm.
I mean, again, remember, like if you're ingesting sheep paste,
right,
or following the leader of the TTP, the Texas whatever that racist group
Yeah.
was. Her
Treatment
homemade
protocol.
what
Her treatment protocol.
for COVID, which was like a
Oh.
homemade brandy or whatever the fuck it was, oxychloroquine.
Yeah.
Make sure to slow cook grinds of a grapefruit and orange for 1 day. Use ginger. Like, this is getting delicious already. I
Yeah.
think I went to some like one of those like little gift stores, and
Right.
they had like in it like jars with like dried out fruit, and it was like basically like a recipe. Like, and it's like they have these like little like little hipster shops, and they have like those cool like cookies, and they have like the layers with the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ingredients. Chocolate chips in the bottom, and then it's in a glass jar. It has like a nice presentation, the whole thing. It's all about the visual.
Sure.
Well, I was at one store, and they had like different like margaritas, not margaritas, but like what's that like wine sangria?
Oh, okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And one of them was like this like dried fruits and everything. It was all that, and that and like that's basically what this fucking lady's like homemade.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about this. This is just stupid.
It's stupid as hell.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, why get that? Was someone she wrote? The same person wrote, "I have an idea. Leave a strawberry out on your kitchen counter.
Right.
You're gonna have free ants." And throw it in, throw it in a blender. You got a delicious smoothie with all the important elements. That the joke is, it's probably mostly filler. It's not even ants. It's like,
well, all I know is that every so often I see in the mainstream media or lamestream media, as I like to call
of
it,
course.
I'll see articles about how we should all be eating more bugs. And
are you serious?
Yeah, it's like this kind of like it's like food shortages, and it's this replenishable source, and you really don't have to do much other than catch them.
Lunches when you could just ask the janitor to put some traps out for some cockroaches.
When I see TV shows or tweets about wealthy people eating bugs, then I'll consider it. But until then, no.
But theirs will be fancy cockroaches.
Yes.
What was it? Chocolate crickets or something?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right.
wow. I know. I always love that. Like, yeah, I have an idea. You don't need to have a well-balanced meal when nature provides. Yeah. Have you ever thought about eating mosquitoes? Take a bite back at them. Show them who's boss by eating mosquitoes. Give them a little piece of their own medicine while getting some important proteins.
No, thank you.
And some of your blood back, and maybe some malaria.
Right.
And other diseases that they carry.
Yeah, that'll be
that's. But really, you see articles like that where rich corporations trying to get people
saying
like, you know what?
Yeah. We need to be more open to eating bugs,
I think that's just disgusting. Yeah. But we do live in a hell world, and it doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
First they take away Batgirl from us. And now they're trying to make us eat insects. Fucking world. You know what I heard is that when Ant-Man 3 Quantumania comes out,
yes,
there's a whole weird, for some reason,
it'll be a tie-in at the theaters.
What?
It'll be a tie-in at the theaters where you can get ant paste on your popcorn.
It's just the butter.
Yeah.
It's just the butter station that they just didn't clean it.
Gloppy,
covered in ants.
Of ants.
Just scoop up some ants, and that's how you get the 4D experience or 4A experience for ants.
Right. No thanks.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it me, or when I was a kid, ants were bigger?
Oh.
Like when I was a kid, we get like ants in my house in Long Island that were huge. And then I moved to California, and we just got these like shitty.
There's like dozens of kinds of ants, though. I mean, like there's like little sugar ants and carpenter ants and red ants. And I mean, there's like, so it's possible, but it's also just as likely that you.
No, I didn't increase like 15 times and 20 times in size.
No, I'm saying like where, like maybe in New York you had one type of ant, and in California you had another type of ant.
Yeah, I guess. I just feel like the ants, whatever kind they were. Now, those ants were bigger and juicier, and you might convince me to eat those. That might be a more substantial meal.
An ant fillet.
Shit ants that, yeah. cutlets. What was it? Medallions?
Oh yeah.
That's such a gross like pork medallion.
Right.
Came
I
up
used
with
to like
that. It's so
squab medallions.
What?
Squab medallions or
What's
something.
like so unappetizing
Yeah.
sounding?
Fuck
I'm not
that.
a fan of that. All right.
All
What's
right.
next? So yeah, I mean, I hope Alex Jones gets every horrible thing that happens to him.
Yep.
I think I believe this is the thing. This is a judge that fucking hates him.
Yeah.
All this shit came out. He is fucked. I bet you what okay, I guess he could get what subpoenaed again by the January 6th.
I think so, yeah. He can still claim the fifth, but they have his phone records.
I mean, can they do anything based on him lying?
I don't know. Yes, I think they can. I think they can, but I don't know if they will or if they'll just pass that along to the DOJ.
I always find it really funny when people, the right wing, were complaining the most about being deplatformed.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, well, who are you upset? Like, because one of the biggest people that got deplatformed by like Apple and YouTube and all that was Alex Jones, like 5 years. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember that. And I'm like, okay, so you do realize, wait, you're upset about this guy getting deplatformed. So you think Alex Jones represents right wing politics? I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. I mean, like, you know, William F. Buckley is not getting censored. William F. Buckley, you know, I'm saying, like, this is Alex Jones. You sure you want to?
This is the hill you want.
This is you accept Alex Jones as a right wing, like part of the right wing hemisphere. This is like Sean Hannity or Fox News. Like, this is a voice that you think needs to be heard. This is the guy you want representing you. Like, I question that. And the thing is, a lot of them, they would say this, and I'd always be like, so you're talking about Alex Jones, right? Because like that's the guy who got the platform at the time.
Right.
I'm like, that guy is like a vile, disgusting, lying piece of shit. Like, okay, whatever. I mean, fuck these people. All right.
Well, he is. I mean, his stuff is en route to the January 6th committee. And the January 6th committee is kind of like plugging along. And
isn't it on hold right now or something?
They are kind of reviewing their data. But there's also the January 6th trials. Like, some people have gone to court. The one we were talking about the other day is that Guy Reffitt, who was from Texas, and he came home and started bragging about all that he had done. And I guess his son
is he the guy with the ties? What do they call those things?
The zip ties? I think he might be. Yeah.
Was he from Grapevine?
Grapevine or South Lake, one of those type of deals, you know. But the son turned him in, and
good on him.
Yeah, you know, I guess the dad, I'm sure the dad was like a jerk anyway, but the son turned him in, and then the guy went to trial and he got found guilty. And the daughters afterwards they're just pissed off their dad's going to jail, but they started demanding that Trump also face charges.
Yeah, they basically said like, well, if he's getting like all this time, Trump should get life. And they're right.
That's pretty good argument.
Like I saw the mom. She sounded like an asshole. She definitely drank the Kool-Aid. She did. She wasn't calling for Trump being arrested. She made it sound like, oh, my husband's innocent. He's peaceful. We didn't do anything. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, a lot of these people think that way. You know what I mean? Like that's just how they're kind of hardwired. But you know, a lot of stuff has happened over the last few days. A lot of subpoenas have been issued and evidence has been gathered, and
basically say that like the cops who got hurt can go after Trump now.
Yeah,
they can sue
that came out today. There's 3 civil suits that were granted permission to go in. So
I'll send them some Trump steaks.
There's not like a ton to report right now, but there is a lot of movement, and I think soon we'll be seeing some real definitive things.
At the same time, man, we saw like Trump at this like. So I guess at one of his golf courses, he hosted some event that's basically run by the Saudis. I think it's so funny. You see all these like right wingers like Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about like how Biden's so weak around the Saudis, but then she attends this golf course thing. She's there with Tucker Carlson and Trump, and they're laughing. Dude, I realize I know what she looks like now. You ever see when a chimp smiles?
Yeah, I saw that.
chimpanzee, and it's like
Yeah.
it's basically like it's not cute at all.
It's like
And
menacing.
it's basically no, but they're literally showing you aggression. Like they're
Yeah.
going to rip your fucking face off. That's what
Yeah.
Marshall looks like. She looks like a fucking. She looks like one of those chimpanzees, and it's her face is smiling.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's insane. So it's like her, Tucker Carlson, and Trump, and they're laughing at this thing, and it's just like it's fucking ghouls. But it's so crazy. I mean, dude, this woman was like harassing David Hogg years ago, and
Yep.
she was just some like Facebook QAnon mom, and now she's like the top foot. She has no power in Congress because she was stripped of all committees. She's fucking useless.
Right.
But she is one of their main fundraisers for the GOP. She's hobnobbing and hanging out with Tucker Carlson and Trump
Yeah.
every day.
Well, she's part of their culture machine. I think the right believes, and to some degree, I think they're right, that that currently they can get elected in enough races just by being edgelords and memes. And
yeah,
I mean, like that's kind of their.
It's like
their
Matt
shtick.
Gaetz put out a thing, like basically when we're gonna talk about that later, but Olivia Giuliano, who like raised a ton of money,
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz put out this whole thing like this. His response was like, "Be offended." Like that's his whole thing. Like, yeah, that's right. We don't hold back. Be offended. Deal with it. It's like, oh fuck you, dude. You're like, dude, these people, man, all of them, like Trump, Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz. If this was the 1700s, they would all have big powder wigs,
right.
drawn on beauty marks, powdered faces, and dainty flowing cuffs.
Yep, very fancy.
All these guys. That's not even like that's a fact. All of them. Joe Rogan, Daily Wire people, all of them. They would just be these like like fops. They look like those guys from the Kids in Hall skit.
Well, yeah, I think you're probably right. I think
yeah.
I think you're probably right. It is kind of gratifying to see all these things kind of come. They're still working on them.
But it doesn't feel like there's any justice because, like I said, the idea that Trump could still run for president and he's doing this fucking weird golf thing, and it's like
right.
Okay, you know his wife died, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, he buried her on the golf course grounds for a tax cut.
And it literally just says Ivana Trump and her birth and date. Doesn't say anything, loving mother, nothing. It's so weird. I guess like I tweeted that. I said like the owner or something, but I guess the kids did it.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, they really love their mom. Just dump her on the golf course like in a pauper's grave, and it's so weird. It's like these people have been divorced for like fucking since the early 90s when Marlon Maple showed up. Marble Maple.
Canadian superhero.
Yeah. What's that shit called? The cheese curd. So it's like
poutine
maple.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like I trust that they're grinding away on it, and I
hope that's so. I do like that they open the door though, that these cops can go fucking.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, and this is kind of a good transition to the next thing. They got to get something together because I guess we're jumping ahead a little bit, but the primary results that came in like Arizona and stuff, there's a lot of election denying January 6th truthers getting elected. You know, in red
one
states.
Guy who basically won the primary. What's the position? Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. Yeah.
He's basically the guy who will get to literally decide the election if there was like anything hokey that would happen.
Right.
And this guy literally attended January 6th.
Yeah.
He was there. He's a full on Trump and fucking voting denying piece of shit. Carrie Lake, another one. She's using it on this one.
Yeah.
Fucking Marcy Darcy looking motherfucker. Yep. I was hoping she was gonna fucking lose. And it's kind of funny because conspiracy is like, okay, so these assholes say that like there's it's funny how like when they're losing, it's a fake election.
Yeah.
But when they win, it's like weird. It's like
most of those people, most of those Republicans that said it was a fake election in favor of Biden themselves won in that election.
Which makes no sense. And like, shouldn't your election then be
similarly flawed?
I mean, like, fuck, if it was that big of a conspiracy that Biden won this presidency, my God, the whole entire government needs to be looked at. Every election needs to be looked at then, if that's the case.
Right.
Like every victory, Republican, Democrat, all of them, they all need to be invested. You know what I mean? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing though is, okay, so like Trump does this bullshit. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? He had some clout because he was a sitting president and he had some power.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Carrie Lake, who the fuck
she was a local newscaster.
Like, if she loses this election, who gives a shit? They're like, oh, she's gonna pull a fucking Trump, and I'm like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
she's not a sitting president. Like, that's the thing. Again, I say this: January 6th happened because Trump was president when it happened.
Yeah.
If Joe Biden was president and Trump won an election, or if there was an issue and a bunch of people showed up there to fight Trump, I don't think the results would have been the same.
Yeah.
I think there would have been like the what do you call them? Not the army, the what do they call it? When the ones on US soil, what's it called?
Oh, you're talking about like talking about the secrets. Oh, the National Guard. Yeah.
National Guard.
Yeah.
They were like, they basically hid the National Guard until like the end.
Yeah.
They basically were like holding them off. That wouldn't happen if it was.
No.
Yeah. It only happened because Trump was president.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah.
There's like so much shit. That's why I say something like with Jones is Alex Jones. There's so much evidence. There's so much. It's like anyone else would have been arrested for even just one fraction of the guilt these people have. Freaking all that footage of Trump basically saying like, "Oh yeah, the guys with the guns, are fine. They're there for me."
Right.
Like that's literally an admission of guilt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope something comes out of it. I think it's kind of funny. So, like, did Liz Cheney win her primary?
I don't think her primary wasn't the other night. I think her primary is coming up. Let's see, the Wyoming.
So I guess they're trying to do this whole like, like some Democrats might switch over and vote for her because it's fucking Wyoming. Not like it's gonna win anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, we know she's a piece of shit and she sucks and voted for Trump 95% of the time anyway. But the difference is that the person they want to take the place of her is a Republican that's basically going to be a rubber stamp for Trump.
Yeah.
When it comes to, see, policy is one thing. This is about seizing power and doing a coup. And
that's exactly.
I don't know what we want to say about Liz Cheney, if she has like some ulterior motive or she uses this opportunity. Who the fuck knows? But the reality is that you need her there instead of like.
Right. I think Liz Cheney will play by the rules. You may not like her.
I still think she's still awful. Her dad is a monster. But like I said, the person that they're trying to get in to replace her in the primary will literally just be a
rubber stamp,
another rubber stamp to let Trump seize power. And I mean, it's nice to have a few Republicans like her, at least like, yeah, I think what he did is wrong, and we should probably do some legal shit about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what other big things in January? The primaries happened. Well, I mean, what were the big races? I mean, obviously Arizona. I mean, I guess the woman that won for Democratic governor though is pretty good. I mean, she brought like an election official or something.
Yeah, she was. I want to say she was the Secretary of State, who certified the election despite Trump's complaints to the contrary. So
I think that's going to be an interesting debate. I bet you Carrie Lake doesn't even do it. Just like Walker isn't going to do it, because it's like they're going to ask a question. Say they're going to ask Carrie Lake, "Do you believe that the 2020 election was fake?" And that's like her whole fucking campaign.
Yeah.
It's just like voter. It's just pushing this conspiracy about voting.
Well, I think that the worst of the GOP candidates generally won. That Eric Gatens from Missouri didn't win.
Well, so the funny thing about the Missouri one, Eric Gatens and the other guy named Eric, was that Trump supposedly just endorsed a guy.
Right.
And I said, Trump's a betting man. He's like, you know what? I endorse Eric. And Eric Gatens was like, that's an endorsement for me. But it's like, no, he literally endorsed Eric. And it could have been his son. His son's name's Eric.
That's true.
But that guy was supposedly terrible, right? Eric Gatens?
Yeah, he's like still under investigation for.
Is he the one that put the ad out about like basically sending people with guns to go after his political
Yes,
rival.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we dodged a bullet with that psycho.
Yeah. But the Democrats in Arizona have good candidates. The governor they have a good
Blake
candidate.
Masters won the Arizona. That guy's that Peter Thiel creep.
Yeah, but he's going to go up against Mark Kelly, who's like, I think he's solid. I don't think no one looks at Mark Kelly and says flaming liberal. You know, I mean, like he just seems
he's an astronaut.
Yeah.
And the thing with his wife being the victim of a shooting, like there's been national coverage. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but that guy is a huge creep, and I think him being in power is scary.
Yeah,
you don't want he would make you. That guy, Blake Masters, who's put out horrible things about guns, all kinds of things. He will make you long for the day of Tom Cotton and Josh Hawley.
Yeah,
like that's how bad this guy is. Like JD Vance getting in is like it'll make you long for the day of like Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Like at least we had a reasonable guy like Ted Cruz.
Right.
Not like just
pretty remarkable.
Fucking JD Vance or Blake Masters.
Well, the most I think Kelly can beat Masters, but
I hope so, but I don't trust anything when
Yeah.
it comes to. I'm like still hesitant. I don't believe anything.
Oh yeah.
They with Fetterman and Oz. Like it's funny to see Fetterman kick the shit out of Oz on Twitter and stuff, but it's
still got to get the
Twitter.
votes.
Not everybody not everyone's on Twitter. If that was the case, Bernie Sanders would be in his sixth term. You know what I mean? Like it's like
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the big thing that came out of last night was in Kansas, where the Republicans were trying to put through a bill that was going to outlaw abortion, and like almost 2/3 of the state in a high turnout election voted against that provision.
Yeah, but you said that you fear that the same thing like what happened in Florida. So like a couple of years ago, there was basically an election in Florida where the people voted to like basically give the voting rights back to former prisoners.
Which that
Florida,
too.
They don't. And basically the Florida Republican delegation was like, nah, we'll just ignore this election. We'll ignore the will of the people. Nothing came out of it.
It was so crazy. That happened. And that one in Florida, they have these things called constitutional referendums or whatever, where basically anybody can alter the Constitution, the state constitution.
Well, they have that. They have like that with ballots in California.
Yes.
And that's how that like Prop 8 got on there back in 2008. Like they can just get enough money, enough people to do it. They can get a prop on there.
The one I remember most clearly was they put up one for high-speed rail. And it was overwhelmingly popular. It got like 85-90% of the vote. They had a good plan to connect the major cities of like Tampa, Orlando, Miami, and whatnot. And the Republicans just looked at it and said, no, we don't like it. We don't want to spend our money on that. We got tax cuts to give. And even though 2/3 of the population voted for it and actually enshrined it in the Constitution, the Republicans just, when they got back from their vacation, we're like, yeah, we're going to skip that. And they did some sort of legislative thing, and they skipped it. And they did that with restoring felons' rights to vote and a whole bunch of stuff. So my fear is that the Republicans in Kansas will say, well, thanks for your feedback, but we're doing it anyway.
I don't know if that's, I don't think that'll happen. I mean, they'll do it, but I think that this has become, this has been a powerful. This is basically, what did you say? Like, did you post this or someone else? I don't know. Basically, I don't know what the guy's name is. Some reporter was saying like how, there's all this bullshit saying that Republicans are going to take Congress and possibly Senate, but it's actually not tracking that way. And actually, thanks to fucking Roe and everything happening, that it's probably going to look like the Republicans actually are going to lose Congress this year. Because people are going to turn out like crazy. And the fact that like, in Kansas, a pretty red state. I mean, they have a Democratic governor right now.
Yeah.
But it is still like always been considered kind of like a red state. And it went like 16 points to Trump in 2020.
Yes.
And it went 26% over to basically say no, abortions can happen in Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas, oddly enough, Kansas is a really progressive state when it comes to women's health care.
I think as the one thing, and a lot of information got out with Roe, was that like, hey, this isn't even just about abortion. This is women's health. and what detrimental effects it has to remove abortion. Like, and again, you stated this, and I've seen other people say this, that the Republicans basically, what was it? They're the dog that caught the car and they don't know what to do with it. Like all these idiots, anytime it's like always like I saw them in like congressional hearings, something that they ask these like fucking idiots who are anti-choice. They're like, well, what about ectopical? Right? Is that the right way to say it? I never say it.
Ectopic. Yeah.
Ectopic pregnancy. What do you know? That's an abortion. They're like, no, it's not. It's like, yes, it's an abort. It is considered an abortion to basically help this woman survive because it's in the fallopian tube or whatever, and that is what an abortion is. And these people are like, no, it's not, because they have no fucking clue. These people go to like Brigham Young or these other what's that other bullshit school a lot of these Republicans go to? Like another like it's
Liberty like, or
Liberty University. It's like these people are fucking, or they get their education in Texas.
Well, I think a lot of them are starting to learn about this. I mean, I think that
I think people are learning, and that's another reason people are like, no, you know what? I may not be like 100% for abortion, but I do understand now that it is an important right for people to have because it could save a woman's life.
Yeah. And that's what Democrats seem to be running on is basically saying like, look, you can't afford to risk it. The Republicans that will
they just bring up that 10-year-old girl from Ohio.
And they'll say on the campaign trail that they're not gonna that they'll honor precedent or that they'll listen to their constituents or whatever, but they won't. The minute they're in office, they'll be like, yeah, I was listening to my constituents, the 3 guys I pray with at Bible study, and they all told me to do it. I mean, like,
there's enough footage of these idiots saying shit and doing shit that's like, they're all ads. It's like they're ads for you, dude. Like, use them.
Well, the Democrats would really be well advised to make that a key piece, not the only piece, but a key piece of their advertising.
I mean, it is, because they could also bring up like, listen, they want to go after gay marriage. They want to go after like, what else was there? There was another big one besides gay marriage they want to go after. Besides abortion. What?
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
There was like some other insane right where you're just like, wait, what? And it's funny. Like,
it's contraception. Is that what you're thinking of?
Contraception. It's like, what? I mean, I think they voted against. They had a vote on contraception. Republicans voted like majority voted against it, and Biden like in the year 2020, you're voting
voting against the pill.
This is fucking madness. It's like,
been safe and effective for almost 100 years.
Yeah, like you want, and it doesn't. And the thing about the pill too is it regulates women's hormones. Some women take the pill, not even for like so they can. Right. So they can like regulate their periods. And helps them.
Yeah, I knew people that did that. And they said this is the only thing that works. It's really helpful. So
they have like horrible cramps, and they take the pill, and it actually helps them.
Well, it was a seismic shift. Both in Kansas itself, but also in telegraphing to other candidates, like, hey, it's okay to run on abortion rights. You can do that. That's not if it worked in Kansas, it can work anywhere. So
yeah. And then people said Texas is not really a red state. It is a voter suppression state.
That's real true.
Yeah. And Florida, I don't know what the fuck Florida is.
Florida has voter suppression too. I mean, it's a little, I don't know. Florida is an odd one because it does have a real transient population, and they want to encourage older people to vote, but that can run both ways for different political parties.
Of course.
I think other states are more diabolical in their voter suppression efforts, but Florida's no slouch. I don't know. Look, if I'm a Democrat running in November, that's going to be a key piece of what I talk about. Not the only piece, but a key piece of what I talk about.
But I would say look to Kansas and be like, if the people are coming out and voting in Kansas, then this is a major scare of Republicans. I mean, listen, they might, what the Republicans might do is do like the Kerry Lake route, where they'll try to avoid the conversation of abortions and stuff like that, or any actual real any real effect on people, and just talk about conspiracies.
Yeah. Or they'll say like and I've seen them say this already. They'll be like, hey, on the local TV news last year, you said that if 8-year-old was raped and impregnated by her uncle, that she should rejoice and praise God for that gift. Do you still stand by that? And the candidate will be like, that's not what Americans are talking to me about. What they're talking to me about is these high
the
gas
inflation.
prices. Yeah.
Which is funny because gas prices have gone down like $1.25 where I live.
Yeah.
And gas price, I don't know what you have because you said you have the fancy hybrid. You only fill up
that's true.
6 months.
We use 6 ounces of water, and we get like
you use the same thing that Doc Brown uses and back to
yes.
too.
Well,
garbage.
Gas is going down, inflation's out of control, but like people can manage, and I think there's a little skeptical that any politician's going to get them cheap anything.
Well, it's like, what do you think a Republican's going to do? Think like they just get in, they magically make inflation go away?
But you know what people don't like is being told that you are having a right taken away. People don't like that.
Like, okay, so you're saying that not just in my there's this horrible inflation that's just so out of control, and these gas prices that even though have gone down significantly,
right?
Like they didn't go down 20 cents, 30 cents like they did a couple weeks ago. They are literally almost at the price that gas was when I moved to Colorado in March. They're almost down. They're just a little bit more than what they were. They were like $3.50, $3.60 when I moved here, and now I just got gas today for like $3.73. Like, I mean, it's not great, but it's not.
Yeah, gas will go up and go
$5. It's not $5, so they can't use that excuse. And unless some other fucking crisis happens in the world, I don't think gas is going to go up again the way it did.
I don't either.
And
if it does, it'll be very short term.
It was like, okay, there was a gas crisis started because Putin invaded Ukraine.
It all makes.
They invaded the country, and the oil companies took advantage of the moment. And at the time, they were able to create a lie and say, "Oh yeah, it's affected." But after like a couple months, it was like, "Wait, oil barrels are like at the rate they should be. Why is gas still like when oil barrels are like $100 a gallon, a barrel? Then it makes sense that gas prices will go up. But they were like back to like normal, and it was like, what is going on here? But hey, you know what? Biden sent out a tweet and said, "I'm not even joking." He sent out a tweet, literally saying, "Lower your fucking gas prices." Like
right.
And since then, they went down like $1.25 in my area. So, like I said, we shouldn't have to be relying on gas anymore. I think it's
right
bullshit. But unfortunately, that has a big effect on people commuting and just trying to get around. Now the inflation thing again. Even that, I think a lot of that is bullshit.
Yeah.
But this is a world. It's like when you tell these right wingers though, because the gas problem wasn't just here. It was global.
Yeah, but the
inflation is global.
Right. But they don't see it that way. I mean, they're real myopic.
The whole idea is fair. But if you so you're like, okay, so gas prices are out of control, inflation's out of control, but but on top of that, you want to take away rights from us.
Yeah.
You want to remove a woman's right to choose. You want to break up same-sex marriages around the country, which
contraception,
contraception. You want to do all these horrible things. Why would I vote for you?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about inflation? Give tax cuts?
Yeah. They don't have
companies can buy back more stock.
That'll be it. I don't know. I'm hopeful. The Kansas thing has got me much more hopeful than I was previously.
It makes me feel like there's a real fight. And I feel like for a while now, and I've seen a lot of left-leaning people in media pushing to me like, oh, the Republicans are going to take Congress. And now I feel like there's a little bit more hope. And you know what? No, I don't think that the Republicans are just going to easily come in and take Congress.
Yeah.
Now, again, I do believe this, and this is not a fucking conspiracy. If Republicans take Congress, it will be on the skin of the teeth. And the only reason why they'll do it is because of the Trump administration fucking with the census a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Making some seats disappear. The fact that districts were redrawn in red state areas.
Gerrymandering, shady. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of election fraud to be found if you look. It's just kind of in different ways than you might think.
It's it's not the kind of fraud that like Carrie Lake's pushing
No,
or Trump's
no.
pushing. It's like real shit where it's like, no, dude's in
This is
power.
like structural, institutional
Redrawing maps.
disenfranchisement. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know who removed themselves from voting today?
Who?
That oh man, there's like no way to do this right. You know about you ever drive on the road and like someone on the wrong lane is coming at you and you're like, oh
Yeah,
my
right.
fucking God. So I guess today a congresswoman, a Republican congresswoman in what was it, Wisconsin was killed?
No, Indiana.
Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, and she gosh, what was her name? It was I had it here. Started with a W. Okay, it was shoot. Jackie Walorski. And amongst her greatest hits, she voted to overturn the 2020 election.
Cool.
She voted to repeal Obamacare multiple times.
Nice.
She voted to ban abortion. She
Course.
voted for all of Trump's tax cuts on the wealthy.
Right.
And this is kind of ironic. I don't know if you heard this. She voted last year to reduce the payment that's given to surviving family members of deceased members of Congress.
Oh, that's nice of her.
Yeah, which is
oh, that's weird.
It's weird. Like,
well, I mean, I'm assuming that didn't go through.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it went through, but she voted for it. She voted, I guess, for her husband to receive like fewer benefits from her passing. She got hit by a car. She was in a SUV.
Well, wasn't her family killed too, or was just
no? Her and two of her staffers.
I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really a joke that can make about this because it sucks. But I will say this: these pro-life politicians, they claim they're pro-life, but they keep dying.
Right.
So, like you say you're pro-life, but
right. If you were so pro-life, you'd live, right? Like, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck? No, I mean that's awful, and actually, that's a really big problem in this country where people drive in the wrong lane. I talked to Leah about it, and she said that was huge in Florida. My wife said that,
yeah.
And you even said that was like a big, it's a big problem
in Florida. There's a lot of tourists. They don't know where they're going. We get a lot of overseas visitors. They're used to driving on the other side. They have a few beers at breakfast.
Dude,
and
one time where I used to live, Justin Road going towards that Walmart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said this.
This guy turned out of the Walmart parking lot and started gunning down my lane as I'm driving. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, thankfully I was not. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, you gotta be. And it was nighttime too, so it's even scarier. And it's like, dude, so many people. I don't want to know what the numbers are in car accidents. That is like probably one of the higher.
Oh, I'll bet.
People driving down the wrong fucking lane. You see it all the time. Most of these, anytime there's like a car accident death, you look into it, there's like a really big chance it's going to be idiot drove down wrong lane.
Yeah.
Now the person that hit this woman and her staffers, they died too.
Yeah.
So that means they were going full speed at each other.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, like, I guess the thing is, like, obviously, anytime there's a person who's killed, it's sad and everything. But it's hard to like garner like a ton of sympathy because like this person spent so much of her life, her short life, trying to steal my vote, trying to make it so that my vote doesn't count, trying to make it so that I can't afford to go to a doctor. So much effort trying to make my life shittier.
And ruining not just yours, but making efforts to ruin other people's lives.
Oh yeah, yeah. But people,
I mean, you're like, how am I supposed to feel sorry? It's like when Rush Limbaugh died.
Yeah,
it was a fucking holiday.
Right.
Fuck that guy. When Alex Jones drops dead from hypertension, one like. Like Roger Stone dies, when Donald Trump dies, like these are terrible fucking people, and they deserve no sympathy. And if somebody says about the Trump people, like, oh, what about his kids? His kids are worse. So you know what? Like
that's a bad example.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They didn't give a fuck about my family. They didn't give a fuck about my friend's family. They didn't give a fuck about anyone you know what I mean?
No,
They didn't
they
give a fuck about
work so
you.
hard.
Why do
Yeah.
I have to give sympathy? Why, like, listen, we in humanity and stuff like that, we need to not be monsters.
Right.
But when a monster dies or gets killed or whatever it is,
come on, call it like you see it.
what are you supposed to do? I mean, it sucks. I look at it as just like, yeah, that's a big problem, and I hope that maybe in all the horrible things this woman did in her political life, maybe it could lead to some kind of like investigation about like how do we fix our roads so that like people don't get fucking killed by idiots in the wrong lane.
Right.
Like the other day I was driving home and it's very easy to get in the wrong lane. I made a left and I was like, holy shit, because 3 lanes were one way and only 1 lane was the lane I was supposed to go in. And it was night. I couldn't see shit. Thankfully, no cars were around because I would have been like, who the fuck knows? It's so easy for that to happen. And there's a lot of drunk drivers. There's a lot of people, like you said, there's people don't know what they're doing. But like, so if we could look at it like, listen, it's horrible. It sucks.
Sure.
Family, like you said, they weren't in there, so their mom's dead and all this stuff. We don't know, like, politically, she was horrible. We don't know how she was. I always say, like, okay, if their politics suck, but they're so nice. I mean, that makes it worse. I kind of like that Matt Gaetz is a piece of shit because we know he's terrible and we know what we're dealing with. But when they're like really nice and charismatic, I almost feel like that's almost like a different kind of evil.
I feel like Brad Pitt at the beginning of Inglourious Bastards. You know, I like my Nazis out in the open where I can see them, and I appreciate that about Matt Gaetz.
But
you
know what you're getting, Alex Jones. You know what you're getting. These are scumbags.
Yeah,
Donald Trump. You know what you're getting.
Right.
He's an absolute piece of shit. Now, like I said, if there's anything good that could come out of this woman's death, it's maybe there could be some like attention put to you know, how do we do this? Now you think like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, of course, posted something about it. Of course, it's a Republican, so she has to pretend she cares about them.
Right.
But you would think like a Republican or anything would be like, well, in honor of this death, we're going to do like some kind of research and an investigation. How do we prevent this from happening? But no, they're not. They're so focused on like culture war bullshit that none of this will get looked into. Well,
all right, we have 2 topics left. We got this woman who is on TikTok, or I first saw her on TikTok. Her name is
we'll talk about this after real quick. John Stewart, Joe Manchin.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's talk about Olivia Giuliana real quick.
Okay.
Talk about. Okay, so Olivia Giuliana she's only like 19 or whatever, but she's on TikTok. I think it had something to do with. I'm pretty sure it was like had to do with abortion, because you know Texas is one of the first states really to come out and put in insane anti-abortion laws that started like last year. The bounty system, real crazy.
Yeah.
Almost like the bounty system is so ridiculous. That's
almost like science fiction, you know.
Yeah, you're like, come on, that was just even like sustainable in any way whatsoever. This is so I love that one guy though in like Arkansas is like, how dumb it is. Like, I'm gonna sue this person. I don't know whatever came out of it, but
I don't either. That'd be interesting.
But I do love that Gavin Newsom took that and said, all right, well, I'm gonna do that with guns.
Yeah,
that like, what's stopping any state from being like, we're gonna
enforce anything you want that way. Model.
What?
Enforce anything you want that way.
Yeah. So she kind of got some notoriety from that, and I haven't really seen her in a while. She's been active, but like basically Matt Gaetz said some vile shit like at TPUSA where there were Nazis there. I love that TPUSA had all these Nazis outside, and they were in attendance too. And then Charlie Kirkland claimed that no, those weren't Nazis. Those were Antifa.
Right.
And I was like, no, those are your people. And Ron DeSantis was there, and Ron DeSantis never said anything like, yeah, I don't approve of Nazis being here. He didn't do that. He knows his voter base. So Matt Gaetz said something stupid like, oh, the kind of only women that are pro-life are women that are so ugly they can't get pregnant. If they could get pregnant if they wanted. Like, I mean, it's like a 8th grade, childish thing to say. It's like, really, you're a fucking adult, dude. You're like an 8-year-old boy in an adult body, like, and a really shitty 8-year-old boy, like the kind that shuts a video game off while he's losing. You know, you're
Right.
playing with them, and then he's like, "Mom, my mom says you gotta go home now."
Yeah.
But I was beating you.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore. That's basically Matt Gaetz, and he said that, and it was just so stupid. And I guess he was directly attacking her.
Oh yeah.
You know, was attacking her physical looks. So she said something about it, and she was like, "Listen, you know what? Like Matt Gaetz is fucking ugly or whatever." But she said, like, "Listen, if you're gonna make fun of me and say that I'm ugly, you better be fucking better looking than me."
Right. Yeah.
Like, I thought that was great. She's like, "You better fucking like."
Right.
I don't want to like get the fuck out of here. But she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna raise $50,000 for abortion services around the country, basically. Like basically all the organizations around the country that will help provide safe abortions for women that need them." And it started with 50,000. She basically got that very quickly.
Very quickly.
Thanks to Matt Gaetz, who doubled down on his stupidity and said dumb shit like "be offended," like as
right,
that's
yeah.
something like makes him a strong man in any way, and not like just a dumb child. She ended up raising over $2 million. So that now officially makes Matt Gaetz the most pro-choice politician in Congress.
Right.
Because over $2 million in his name was raised to provide easy access to abortions for the entire country. So
that's hilarious.
All thank Matt Gaetz, pro-choice Matt Gaetz.
Nice.
Good on her. I mean, she's like a big,
she's young. She's
Beto. In the beginning, I didn't really care for her that much because she was trying to play the whole card, like, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican.
Right. I don't like that. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, but one side is literally taking away your rights. You need to you have to pick a side. I'm sorry. You can't say that they're trying to divide us. There's this they're trying to divide. No, there's one side that's literally fundamentally spent decades and resources trying to take away your rights, and then there's another side that's not. You need to understand that you'd have to support the one side, and she has come out fully in support of Beto.
Right, I think so. Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, at this point, it wasn't like he wasn't 100% running it anyway, and I guess she just didn't want to lock into something, and it's fine, whatever. But I mean, in the end of the day, you can't just say when it comes down to these things, and Republicans are trying to do all these crazy shit. This isn't they're trying to divide us. No, this is a coordinated effort on this side's part to do the things that they've been wanting to do
for years. Yeah.
This is what they are. This is what they are about. This is not they're trying to divide us because what they do divides us.
Right. It's built on that. Yeah.
But you have to come in and realize, okay, if I really want to do something about it, I have to support the other side.
Yeah.
And even if they don't do what I 100% want, if there's enough of us, we could force their hand and influence them. Good example of forcing hands recently.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Manchin.
Oh, yeah.
So Joe Manchin became, he's always been kind of scummy, but recently there was some bill on the environment, and he voted against it or some bullshit, or he killed it, and it was just nonsense. It was like, what the fuck? But lately, I don't know, he's I don't know if they threatened his life or he's been on shows, he's full in support of whatever this vote's gonna be for Biden, and when it comes to infrastructure and the environment.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I'm sure there's a lot of pork involved for him in West Virginia. There has to be. I mean, there's no way. But
it's actual pork. It's I think 7,000 bags of pork rinds. It's actual literal pork.
Yeah, okay. Literal pork. Yeah.
I heard.
Maybe he doesn't want to go down as complete scumbag. I don't know.
I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not. I heard
Republicans are calling him a traitor, which I think is fun.
I read an article that said he and Chuck Schumer got together and just sort of started talking and kind of put aside their differences, and then they hammered out a deal, and then that was that.
Those donkey shows you like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everyone's going to find out about them. And I don't think most of the world knows what a donkey show is, but they're going to learn.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what they are either. I'm just making up something, but we'll find out. That's why all of a sudden Joe Manchin's I'm in full support. Now the joke is though,
Yeah.
the other villain in the Democratic
Oh
Party,
yeah, Kristen Cinema.
we don't know what this piece of shit's gonna do. See the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about these two characters for a while.
Right.
No Manchin, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's been
He is who he
solid
is.
for a decade, over a decade now. We know that he is a very conservative, and I use that in quotation, more like pro corporate,
Right.
pro whatever, pro corporate is the best way to describe it. Democrat. And he's going to do whatever's in the interest in his donors and shit like that. It's not really in the interest of the people of West Virginia. It's in the interest of the elites.
You can count on
And
him for the basic things, but yeah, he often looks for ways to.
But we know what you're getting. Kristen Cinema, on the other hand, is like just a
Wild
fucking
card.
weirdo.
Yeah.
She sucks. I think she's worse than him because, like I said, it's like you said with Matt Gaetz. You know what you're getting, so you're like, he's a piece of shit, and
you can count on it.
You can count on it. Jim Jordan. You can count on it. You know they're scumbag. But like when like Mitt Romney votes against burn victims again,
right,
and he's supposed to be the nice guy,
right? What do you
like,
do with that?
What? Yeah, exactly. You're just like he did that skit where he was Ted Lasso. That was
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I guess are they on break or something? Is that why this is all like?
I believe so. I believe this is the end of the summer break, and I think they come back briefly, but the midterms are in like 90 days. So
well, they better get some fucking shit done,
right?
But I don't know. Kristen Cinema, I think will.
I think she'll go for it. I mean, this is like a big moment. I don't think they would have announced the Manchin breakthrough without having made good inroads with cinema. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
I don't know. I just. Yeah. She's weird.
Yep.
There's something like, I have to get 4 gift cards to Hot Topic and Delia's. Again, 4. I'll do it if you send me a bouquet of edible. What are those things called? The edible bouquet. Fruit baskets. You're just like, ew. Have to shit it. Like you get it, and like half of it's like not ripe. The other half's way too ripe.
Wow.
I hate buying. Let me just say this, Bray. I hate buying fruit. I'm the one that does like most of the shopping when it comes to that, and I have it down to a science. The joke is I'm not even a big fruit eater. For my wife and son, like I'll eat some like strawberries and like in my oatmeal and stuff, but like I don't really eat it. I'm just not a big fruit eater. I don't know what it is. I love fake fruit flavors, which is fucked up.
Right.
Like fruit strike gum. That's my fruit intake. Very healthy.
We go through a bunch of fruit, but fruit's expensive in Texas.
But what I will never do, that's what I will never do. I have to pick out the fruit.
Yeah.
I will go through fucking 40 boxes of strawberries. I have to get the perfect one.
Yeah.
I don't trust. And I would never do those. Like, what is it? I did that in the beginning.
Oh, like a fruit box of box packages, or
no, I mean like the people who do the
like a delivery. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Never. Especially when it comes to fruit and any produce. No way. They're just grabbing whatever. They don't give a shit.
No.
They're just like, yeah, okay, this is strawberries. No, you gotta open them up. Blueberries, you gotta open them up. And you gotta fucking feel them. You gotta feel them.
I honestly,
don't buy them.
I always taste one. Like maybe not a strawberry, because there's only X number of strawberries in a container, but like a blueberry container, I'll open it up and taste one. Grapes, fucking absolutely, I want to taste one.
I just feel them, and if they're too soft, I don't buy them because that means
if I can taste something, I'll do it. And obviously not an apple or anything, but yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. I would never trust that. Now I don't know what the fuck this happened. I'm just saying that I could see Kristen Stewart liking edible arrangements for some reason.
That's true.
Because she's fucking weird. So yeah, real quick. Okay, onto the John Stewart thing real fast. So hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So the Manchin thing's interesting. I mean, I guess he doesn't want to be a complete villain.
Right.
Or appear to be a complete villain. I think it's kind of funny that like the Republicans are mad at him, which I think is weird, but whatever. So John Stewart has been around like recently, like yelling at Republicans.
Yeah.
So basically, there was some vote recently for like, what was it for veterans?
It was,
what was it like burn victims?
yeah. No, there was these things called burn pits where I guess they burnt munitions or whatever, and the chemicals from those burn pits affected these troops, and they needed extra medical care, and so they were going to set aside this amount of money to pay for this medical care, and everyone was going to vote for it, and then the Republicans out of the blue blocked it, because they were pissed off about some other thing.
Well, I guess this was one of those 60 votes thing, which I just like.
Yes.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Need 60 votes to get passed. And I guess they said in the past it was never an issue. All of a sudden now it's an issue.
Right. Well,
it's crazy that they would. This is the issue where they would be like, yeah, we're going to vote against this. Like,
yeah, there's
these guys are so arrogant. That's the funny thing about these, like a lot of these like right-wing senators like that, or just the right wing in general. They're arrogant. Well, they just like, yeah, we're going to vote against this. Like, do you think this was going to have a blowback?
But they so rarely feel consequences. So rarely.
Yeah, but they were supposed to be the party that's like supports the military. The military them, which was always bullshit. I mean, going back to like the Iraq War, a lot of veterans realized back then that they were like fucked over by Bush,
right?
And the Republicans. So, did you see that thing with like fucking Rand Paul saying like, how are we supposed to trust that these injuries didn't happen in the army? And you're like, oh, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, a lot of the stuff that these guys get, sometimes the suffering that happens to them doesn't happen until decades later. Right. It's because they were exposed to something there.
It's like Agent Orange or all those other things. I mean,
my
it's years later.
Died from a virus, basically. I always thought he had, what was it? What's the thing that Michael J. Fox has?
Parkinson's?
Yeah. We always thought he had Parkinson's, but he didn't. He had like Parkinson-like symptoms. But what he got was a virus from being in the South Pacific during World War II. And it finally just in his body, and it killed him in his early 60s. He died in the early 80s. I mean, it's like this shit, these guys get exposed to things. I mean, fuck, we get exposed to things.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And you don't know. Like, and so Rand Paul to say that, he's just a piece of shit. And you're just like, anytime he says something like that, you're just like, man, they should just hit a button and like his neighbor just gets come out and he's like, and he just beats the shit out of Rand Paul. They should keep him in
this was an easy one too. It was like a real specific, real sympathetic, very real thing. I mean, I 100% believe PTSD is a real thing, but it wasn't even like an abstract thing like that. There's not necessarily
specific thing that benefited people who had a specific problem, and it had to do with their military service. So John Stewart, who was really the one thing he's good at. Now, I won't come out and say something. I was very upset with him last year. He went on like Colbert and did some like anti-vaxxer bullshit.
Yeah.
And that really bugged me. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? This is not like, come on.
That was weird. Yeah.
That was stupid and weird. It wasn't even funny. It was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I know you're like you basically live in like an animal sanctuary now, and your wife's all crunchy and makes you and stuff.
Yeah.
Come on now. I don't know. I heard that like, he's been involved with Autism Speaks forever, and like he's done a lot of events for them. And then I hear stuff about how bad Autism Speaks is.
Yeah.
And like how there's some denial of vaccinations in there. So it could be in a social circle and who he deals with, and he just had, he's had vaccine hesitancy. I don't know, whatever. I didn't like that. I'll be straight up. It really made me hate him. Like, this is not the time to be doing this. Like, we have a fucking virus that killed over 1 million Americans. And yes, you can still get COVID if you have the vaccine. I am a living example of that.
Sure.
But, I also had a mild experience.
That resolved itself pretty quickly.
Yeah, like that's what the vaccine's for. It's like, you know what? You get the flu vaccine too, and you can still get the flu. But again, the flu vaccine can help you make sure you don't, older people don't die from it.
Right. Or spread it or
spread it or get violently ill. Like you may get sick for a day or two, but it doesn't last 2 weeks. Okay. Years ago, John Stewart did this really awesome thing where he came out and support, and still to this day, I think he helps, but a lot of these people fucking died already, which is sad.
Oh, yeah.
The first responders in 9/11
Yeah.
were fucking just completely fucked over by the Republicans. I remember Giuliani saying like, "Oh, I don't think these people should get any special attention." It's like,
Yeah.
Mr. 9/11 over here, fucking asshole. Do you remember what Joe Biden said about him? Actually, he had one of the best lines in the 2008 election when he was running for president.
What did he say?
Before he became Obama's vice president. It was at one of the Democratic primaries, and he said that Giuliani just noun, a verb, and 9/11.
Yeah.
That's what he has. Noun, that's what he called Giuliani. And it's like,
yeah, that was a good
it
one.
was probably one of the stronger, funniest things of the entire race was Giuliani, a noun, verb. And I'm surprised it's never come up again.
Right.
Probably like one of his best bangers, I guess.
Yeah.
But so John Stewart became a big advocate and showed up in Congress, basically saying, like, what the fuck, man? These are our first responders, and you're denying them fucking rights. And what he's really good at doing is, now he does this both sides bullshit that I don't like.
Yeah, he does.
But he really does go against the Republicans in a lot of way and calls them out on hypocrisy. Because what he's doing is these so-called people claim that they were the biggest supporters of any type of military action happening after 9/11. They're the ones that support the troops. They're the ones that, they're the ones that really care about America and what happened. Those towers fell.
Right.
But then the people who got the first responders who went in there, who did the right thing to try to save anyone in this horrible thing, and they got chemicals in their system, and they came down with cancers a year later. And a lot of these guys are dead now. Yeah. But John Stewart came and he fought to get rights for them, and he did end up helping them in getting attention. So he's kind of doing the same thing again with the military. Now, the way I look at this is, okay, you said, oh, the military gets lots of benefits. Blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's the point here. I think what he's doing here is he's saying, if these fucking monsters won't even support veterans who experienced any type of trauma or sickness because of their active duty, or first responders who went in despite what could happen to them to save anyone after a catastrophic event like 9/11, do you think they give a fuck about you?
Right. Yeah, they clearly
And I think you have to look at it that way. You have to have an open mind and realize what John Stewart, I think, is doing here is telling you, everyone, these motherfuckers don't care about you. They don't care about the guys that they claim they support. They damn hell don't give a fuck about you. And I think that's what he's doing here. And he had a really good response. One of them was this piece of shit named Jack Posobiec, who's a right-wing troll. This guy he's a literal fucking Nazi. He pushes Russian propaganda. I don't even understand how this guy is like, he's an absolute scumbag. And there's this great video where I guess he was bugging him, in DC. John Stewart's there. John Stewart's like, you're a fucking troll.
He called him a troll.
You're a bad faith actor. Get the fuck out of here. And pulls up. He's like, no, we're on the same side here. Like, the fuck out of here. No, we're not. That guy's a scumbag. I thought that was great. That was great. Good. So I think that's where John Stewart's really good. He uses his celebrity to draw attention to actual real thing. And you have to look at it. That's how I look at everything when it comes to like the left. Like,
that's a good point.
Gay rights or anything like that. They're gonna take away their rights. They're gonna take away your rights at some point.
Yeah.
They're gonna take a woman's right to choose. They're gonna take something away from you eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
You have to look at it. You can't. It's not just about
someone you love.
Yeah, it's gonna affect you in some way.
Yeah.
I think one of the great things. Was it Handmaid's Tale? It's a great. The show, there's a really good plot in the show, despite whatever the dumb shit they do and there's this really good plot where they need something and they can't do it because the only doctor that was able to do this thing is now a fucking Martha in a fucking house because this backwards right-wing bullshit government denies this woman from being the expert surgeon that she was. It was like she was and they show her, they bring her, she's wearing the Martha outfit. They're like, oh, thank you, doctor. And she's like, kind of like, fuck you. I don't have a choice here anyway. Like, she's being wasted in some kitchen feeding the commander copper meat, buttered meat, or whatever the fuck they eat. Like, that's what it shows you. It's like everyone, anything bad, it's gonna affect you in some way. You
Yeah.
deny rights from people. You deny, like, it's gonna fucking come back and hit you in the face. It may not happen right away, but it will. And so I think it's great that he did that. I hope, and it shamed a bunch of. I mean, so they did the vote again. They changed nothing on the vote.
And a lot of them,
11
yeah.
Republicans still voted against him. One of them was Mitt Romney. You know what? Ted Cruz voted for it, but he's a smarmy weasel. He said, like, I'm voting for it. And people are like, what the fuck didn't you vote for it the first time, asshole?
Yeah.
But there were still 11 of them that refused to vote for it. Rand Paul.
Yeah, there was. I don't know. I think that stuff like that is real useful if Democrats make draw that point for
These
voters.
people were okay with 10-year-old getting fucking raped
right.
and having a carry term. These people are okay with people with our veterans that we all say we support. Taking these people who are dying from a specific thing, they took away their right. I mean, like, it's all there. They are literally giving it to you.
Yeah.
Like I said, Rand Paul giving that speech and basically saying, like, how do we even know that's where they got this from? He just made a fucking ad for Booker.
Should, yeah. If Booker takes advantage of it, of course.
He already said it. He responded to it and said, donate to me. You want to get rid of this clown?
Good.
Donate to me. He responded right on that guy's Twitter. Got like, I don't know if he ratioed him or not, but he got a bunch of responses. His link was right there. He's like, do you find this disgusting? I'm your antidote, basically. I mean, like, go. So I think John Stewart's great. Who knows? Maybe he will run for office at some point. I mean, he's not.
I could see that. I mean,
I wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, maybe he's more effective in this way of, like, instead of being like a fucking trapped as a congressman or a senator of one state, no, he gets to go to Washington and make a complete ass out of all the Republicans.
Well, and
he doesn't hold back. He doesn't mince words.
And he doesn't have to take a position on some weird thing now. He can just fight the battles he wants to fight. It's a specific thing.
Yeah. But like I said, I think it's good that it's like the first responders thing. And then this, it's like, again, it's like, okay, we get it. This isn't like, what about everybody else? Well, it's like, I look at it like, what about everyone else who needs healthcare? Okay, we get that, but if they're not going to give these fucking people healthcare, they ain't damn hell ever going to be
true. Yeah, you're way down on the list. Way.
If your fucking veterans are treated like shit, well, my God, you're not even a fucking turd to them.
Yeah.
You don't even exist. Like, that's how you have to look at it. Like, if they won't even give these people anything, my God,
you're not even going to rate. Yeah.
What do you even? They don't even care if you exist. They don't even care to ignore you. You're nothing. So I don't look at it that way. I hope they get all the benefits. I can see that. I mean, like, it's not like, oh my God, I hope Elon Musk makes $1 billion because one day I'll make $1 billion. No, that's not how that works. But like, if a military guy gets actual health benefits, that could lead to, like, hey, that system's in check.
Right.
It want to provide these benefits. Well, guess what? Maybe now we could provide benefits to
anyone for any reason.
Yeah. So I think it's great. I'm happy for that. Again, I'm still cagey on the whole. That was really weird. It was just weird. At least, like, okay, this feels like passionate. He knows what he's talking about. That, I don't know what. Like, what were you trying to? Like, was this a failed bit? Like, it just seemed weird. The whole thing was.
I think everyone's got an issue that they're a little weird on. That runs counter to their normal position. You know.
You know what? I don't even fucking care if he is like, and as long as he's not fucking running on being an anti-vax. You know what I mean? He's not going to Washington screaming about, like, vaccine damage or bullshit they come up with. You know, it's like, no, he's talking about, like, these people are sick because of something they did to serve the country, and these Republican senators literally voted against it.
Yeah.
So good. All right. What's the last thing? Oh, speaking of, oh God.
Well, this will be quick. We got Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang.
It's not really the Yang Gang.
It's
anymore.
I'm calling it the Yang Gang.
Okay, well, he's
back.
He had a failed attempt for president. He had a really failed attempt
at mayor.
For mayor.
Yep.
I feel like more shit came out about him at mayor than it did
Well,
running for president. I feel like for president, like seemed like a nice guy, had a couple of nice things to say on stage. Didn't take him seriously. Thought he was a joke. Didn't think he really knew what he was talking about. I knew he was full of shit. But when he was running for mayor, there was some like skeeziness.
He had a few big gaffes. I remember he had some weird positions. He just was like a one-hit wonder, and then he kind of wanted to stick around, and he is being bankrolled by a bunch of Republicans and big Republican money to start
after his failed attempt at running for mayor. He dropped out pretty early in the mayoral primary, whatever the hell it was.
Yes.
He said he was no longer a Democrat.
Right.
Like, at least 6 months ago, he said this. It was like, and we were like, okay, we don't care.
Yeah.
I never really considered him one to begin with. I always thought he was more like a libertarian.
Right.
Kind of like a Trojan horse for like really bad elements of Silicon Valley, like Peter Thiel. And yeah, so they announced recently the Forward Party. Is that what they're called?
I think so, yeah.
And the joke is it's supposed to be a party of former Republicans and Democrats just trying to like this is like a new like they call it like there was a bullshit like Thomas Friedman and all these people would push called like third way politics. Which,
yeah.
Again, it's like they don't want to be Republicans. They don't want to be Democrats. They still want to be corporatists, but they, like they might believe in pro-choice and gay marriage, all that stuff, but they still are like they don't want unions. They don't.
They're economically capitalist driven.
Yeah, they probably deregulations too. They'd be fine with.
Yeah.
This forward party bullshit is just a grift. It's just another way for Yang to. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what he does for a living. So I guess this is it. He's like
probably this is it. I think he was a software engineer and now he does this.
Yeah, it's probably more profitable. And I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but like the joke is that supposedly, well, one, people were like, okay, Christy Tom Whitman, David Jolly, kind of like I call them like the MSNBC Republicans. They come out, they say some mean shit about Trump, but at the end of the day, they're still Republicans.
Yeah, they're like they're Republicans that are pissed that Trump won.
Like they're, whatever they want to call it. Aesthetic is nicer.
Yeah. Country club Republicans.
Yeah, and they that's really all it is. Yeah. Andrew Yang's not a Democrat. There's no Democrats in it. And you said it's being funded by what?
It's being funded by a bunch of right-wing money. Not like big names or anything, but it's like a lot of right-wing donors are propping it up because they will run a candidate. They will go into local races and they'll find candidates that might have a family name or a little money or some, maybe a former football star or something like that. And they'll run them and they'll siphon away Democratic votes. So that's the plan.
Do you really think that they are more of a threat to the Democrats than they are to the Republicans?
I do. And the only reason
I don't think Andrew Yang is really like has any clout when it comes to being a Democrat.
It won't matter though. I mean, like the Republicans now are like hell bent on MAGA and they're real loyal and everything.
All of them. All I could see is that they'll get those weird like older Republicans that don't like Trump, don't like the current, but I don't see how this would siphon votes away from Democrats. I just don't. I think what this really is in the day is just a big grift.
That could be
a money making thing. It's kind of like the what do you call it? The Lincoln Project. Like Lincoln Project. I don't even know what the fuck they were in the end. I mean, they were supposed to be like, hey, we're the ones who want to make real election ads. Like,
right.
Hey, you're not really that good. You just make like, oh, okay, you were able to do some bullshit for like Bush back in the day. Okay, right. Whatever. Like real culture war bullshit. Mm-hmm. I was like, why are we thinking that these guys are the ones that are going to make the good ads that are going to save?
That was never going to happen.
Like it was a grift too. It was like, oh, okay, the Lincoln Project put an ad out in Times Square attacking Ivanka Trump.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Who's going to see that? No one cares. Like, what a waste of money. That's like that's not gonna do anything. No one gives a shit about that. It's just like, yeah, the 6 people that watch MSNBC will be like,
Yeah,
oh, you
right.
know. I don't know. So that's all this reminds me of. I think it's just a grift. I mean, I don't think they're a real threat. I mean, Andrew Yang. I just left the tweet on this thing. I said, no one takes you seriously.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
You're a joke. This is a joke. Chrissy Todd Whitman has been kind of a pariah in the Republican Party for decades
Yeah.
anyway. She kind of was ousted early in the George W. Bush administration.
Mm-hmm.
She was like the one, like so-called like Republican that supposedly cared about the environment.
That was her big thing.
You know,
I still remember her when she was like, she helped cops frisk a guy for a photo op. Do you remember that?
No.
That was her first. That was
she was a governor of New Jersey, right?
Yeah, and two cops had arrested a kid. I think it was a young black man, and he was handcuffed and had his face against the wall, and she was frisking him, smiling at the camera.
That's so weird.
It was, and this was
cup of tea on your butt.
It was a long time ago.
I just never heard of that. Wow.
Let me.
Weird. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter anyway, because when she was working for the Bush administration, I think she told everybody the air was fine after 9/11. So
yeah, it was 1996. She went to Camden with cops, where she cheerfully frisked a black man while accompanying police officers. Yeah.
Hey, you're not human.
It was real crazy. That was the first I'd ever heard of her.
I'm not gonna. You're a prop, right?
Yeah.
You're an actor.
That was what it was.
Are you a paid actor? No, I'm an actual person. The cops pulled me over.
Yeah.
Okay, well now I'm gonna giggle and
yeah.
Your bum on.
It's a ghoulish photo. I mean, when you see it, you will.
Oh, okay, I have to look this up real quick. Christy Todd Whitman.
Just do like photo op arrest or something like
arrest photo op. Oh, weird. Oh yeah, I've never seen this before. Man first by Governor Whitman shot dead in Camden.
Oh,
May 27th, 2008. Tony Choi. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That happened. I guess he was eventually killed a decade later.
Yeah.
Camden people. Okay. Oh my God. Man frisked by. Yeah, she's just having a good old time.
Yeah.
She's like.
Well, that was a while ago.
Do you think she was like aware that he was an actual like person who was arrested and not like?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You never know with these things. They could have been like, "Yeah, go do this," and then she finds out later it was an actual criminal. I'm not trying to defend her. I'm just saying, like, you never know with this fucking situation. Either way, it still looks awful.
It's awful.
If he was an actor or not, it's just bizarre. It's so weird. She's like wearing like
a white jumpsuit. She's
working at like in a dairy factory or something.
Yeah.
And she just looks like she's having way too good of a she's not taking it seriously.
Nah, it's crazy.
That's so weird. Okay, yeah. So good job, Andrew Yang. You learned something new. You learned about Fanta orange soda today.
Yes.
And I learned about Christine Todd Whitman being a weirdo in the worst way possible. Yeah. So I just think it's a grift. That's all it is.
That makes sense.
They're not really offering anything. They even ask, like, what's your politics? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They'll figure it out.
They have no platform. I mean, come on. This is bullshit. Like,
yeah.
This is like nonsense. I mean, like, I don't even understand. Like, are they going to have any effect on this election? Are they running any candidates nationwide? I mean, the election's in what?
Yeah.
3 months now?
3 months.
Right? So we're already in August, September. Yeah. I mean, 3 months away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it's August already.
Crazy.
That's so fucking weird. Years go passing, years by years.
Yeah.
Learned that from the Muppet. I think I told you about that.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah.
Baby say days go passing day by day, and years go passing year by year. Speaking of, my son turns 12 this week.
So wise. Oh yeah. Yeah, my daughter turns 12 in December.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm out to say something. I'm gonna stop myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I guess that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Welcome back, Joseph.
Thank you.
You went from Florida to Texas.
I know, it's such a cultural shift.
Did you ever stop to like maybe be like, maybe I should go somewhere else? Somewhere else, like, well, I mean, like between Florida and Texas is, I can't imagine. I don't think there's anything normal.
No, they're actually fairly comparable.
No, I mean, you got Mississippi, right?
Oh, you live in New Orleans. New Orleans or Atlanta might do the trick, but they're both in deep red states or reddish states.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
They'll be underwater in a couple years anyway.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Yeah. Just why do I need to do anything about it when they'll just eventually all drown? Right? There you go. It's like, what do they say? Why argue with the anti-vaxxer when I could just wait?
Right.
What a positive way to go out today. Rough. Good job, Joseph.
Nice.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.